Chapter 220, Entrustment. Xin Fan listened to Yang Li's words, a look of astonishment crossing his face. He wondered if he had heard incorrectly. Were the people of the Yang and Lin families part of the mysterious sect? Don't be too surprised. The sect isn't as legendary as the rumors suggest. It's just secluded, hard to find, and requires a guide to enter, which is why there are so many stories about it, Yang Li said weakly. Xin Fan gazed at Yang Li, not at all shocked by the sect. He had little regard for a sect that could create such dubious rankings of heaven and earth. What surprised him was that Yang Li said the Yang and Lin families were part of the sect, meaning Lin Qingyan and Lin Shanpin were also members. Yang Li looked at Xin Fan without continuing to speak, instead reaching for something on her person. Moments later, she handed a ring to Xin Fan, saying, "I suspect you might have pretended to marry Qingyan to deceive me into coming back, but regardless, you are now married to her. Take this ring as part of her dowry." Xin Fan's eyes flickered as he looked at the ring. It was the fragment of the Chaos Pearl Dao that he had been searching for. Thus, without hesitation, Xin Fan accepted the ring. "As for the origins of the sect and the Yang and Lin families, Wang Lu will tell you and Qingyan everything after my death. I now wish for you to promise me one thing." Yang Li lay on the bed, her face pale, her eyes lifeless as she looked at Xin Fan. "I took the ring, so I can promise you one thing," Xin Fan said, glancing at the ring in his hand. "Protect Qingyan," Yang Li requested. Xin Fan frowned slightly at her words, then responded, "All right, as long as I'm here, Qingyan will be safe. Then I can rest easy." Yang Li smiled with relief, slowly closing her eyes and falling asleep. Xin Fan sighed as he watched Yang Li, knowing she had only a few days left. Finally, he cast a calming spell to help her sleep peacefully. He then left the room, encountering Lin Qingyan waiting outside the door. "How's Grandma? What did she say to you?" Lin Qingyan hurriedly asked as Xin Fan emerged. "She's asleep." As for what she said, Xin Fan paused. Lin Qingyan waited expectantly. "Your grandmother asked me to protect you, and I agreed," Xin Fan replied. "Ah," Lin Qingyan exclaimed in surprise. "Miss Xiaofan, it's time for dinner," Aunt Wan called from downstairs. "Coming." "All right." Lin Qingyan and Xin Fan responded almost simultaneously. Soon, they were seated at the dining table, starting their meal. "It's been a long time since I've had Aunt Wang's cooking," Xin Fan said with a smile. "There will be plenty of chances to eat it in the future," Aunt Wang replied with a smile. Wang Lu already knew that the old lady had entrusted everything to Xin Fan, so she anticipated that he and Lin Qingyan would be together from now on. The three of them ate and chatted happily at the table. Suddenly, Xin Fan sensed something amiss and looked up. "Xin Fan, what's wrong? Is there a problem with the chandelier?" Lin Qingyan asked, puzzled by his gaze. "The Taoist priest your father invited has bad intentions," Xin Fan said. "What?" Lin Qingyan and Aunt Wang exclaimed in shock. Xin Fan stood up and walked outside, followed closely by Lin Qingyan and Aunt Wang. Outside the villa, Xin Fan looked up at the sky. It was night, and the sky was dark and unclear. But Xin Fan quickly scanned with his spiritual sense, sensing a black aura above, weaving like a web over the entire villa. "What's wrong?" Lin Qingyan asked, still confused. "You can't see it, but there's a large net of death aura descending over the villa," Xin Fan explained. "Death aura?" Aunt Wang's face changed drastically. "A fatal charm. Aunt Wang? What are you talking about?" Lin Qingyan was even more confused. "You could call it that. Someone wants to kill everyone inside the villa," Xin Fan said. "What?" Lin Qingyan's expression changed, still not understanding. "It must be that Taoist priest's doing. He used the opportunity to enter the villa and set this up," Xin Fan explained. Before obtaining the ring, Xin Fan's spiritual sense was suppressed, so he didn't notice it. But after obtaining the ring, his spiritual sense was no longer suppressed, and he sensed the anomaly. Once this deathly web enveloped the villa, everyone inside would be eroded by the death aura and die. Even someone as skilled as Aunt Wan wouldn't be able to resist. "Xin Fan, are you sure this isn't some superstition?" Lin Qingyan asked, skeptical. "Miss, there are many things in this world you don't know about. Xiaofan wouldn't deceive us." "The priest had ill intentions," Aunt Wang quickly said. Lin Qingyan looked at Aunt Wang in shock, feeling that she was different. "Miss, I can't explain it now." "You'll understand everything in time," Aunt Wang said again. "Why wait? Why not tell me now?" Lin Qingyan's curiosity was piqued. Miss, I will tell you everything in due time. Trust me, Aunt Wang insisted. She intended to reveal everything after the old lady's death. Seeing this, Lin Qingyan didn't press further and nodded. All right, let's eat. Within moments, Xin Fan had resolved the situation. Is it resolved? I didn't see you do anything. Lin Qingyan felt like Xin Fan and Aunt Wang were playing a trick on her. But she trusted Aunt Wang's character and knew she wouldn't lie. According to you, that priest meant us harm? Why? Lin Qingyan asked at the table. We need to investigate the priest's background. Ask your father, Xin Fan suggested. Lin Qingyan took out her phone, calling her father and inquiring about the priest. My father and Su Xiuzhen met him at a Taoist temple during a vacation in Jiang Bei. Knowing that grandma's condition was worsening, they spent a lot of money to bring him here. He has since returned to Jiang Bei, Lin Qingyan said, hanging up. She felt helpless about her father's weak and mediocre nature, always listening to Su Xiuzhen and often failing in his tasks. She couldn't understand why her mother had married him. After a moment of silence, Lin Qingyan said, Xin Fan, if what you say is true, it means someone wants to harm us. Chapter 221, The Eyes of True Sight. Have you recently offended anyone? Xin Fan asked, surprised by Lin Qingyan's rare display of trust. Offended anyone? Lin Qingyan thought for a moment and shook her head. No, at most, I've just refused those who try to use me to get in touch with Tianqin Company. Xin Fan pondered this. Such refusals were minor issues, and in Jiangnan and Huahai, no one would dare to harm Lin Qingyan. After all, she was openly his girlfriend, and now even his wife attempting to harm her was a death wish. I'll contact the security bureau to investigate that Taoist priest, Lin Qingyan said decisively. Xin Fan nodded. He knew there was something wrong with the priest, but his spiritual sense had been suppressed, so he couldn't mark him. Now that the priest was gone, it was better to leave it to the security bureau. Moreover, if the enemy knew they had failed, they might try again, so it wasn't necessary to pursue them, they would come to him. After dinner, Xin Fan found an excuse and drove his beat-up car to his villa. Welcome back, Master, Catherine greeted him as soon as he arrived. Xin Fan asked her about events that had occurred during his absence. Catherine reported everything in detail. Xin Fan learned that nothing significant had happened in Jiangchen while he was away on the island, and the materials for the grand formation were being collected methodically. Under Jiang Qingning's management, Tianqin Company's products were selling exceptionally well, and the branch in Huahai had already been established. However, there's been an issue with Ma Butong's jade supply recently, causing a delay, Catherine mentioned. I see. I'll ask about it later, Xin Fan replied, then went to the backyard to check on the broken branch. The branch was growing well, with more tender buds, but no new branches yet. It would take more time. After dealing with these matters, Xin Fan went to his training room and took out the ring. Regardless of its use, he intended to let the Chaos Pearl absorb it. He released the Chaos Pearl, and as it appeared, the ring began to tremble, emitting a faint glow. This is mental power, Xin Fan recognized immediately. The ring was merely a vessel, containing a fragment of the Chaos Pearl's Tao, and this power was not the previous 5 elements' power but mental strength. As the Chaos Pearl absorbed the mental power, it emitted a humming sound. Strange mental energy was released, which Xin Fan absorbed. He began to cultivate, and as the mysterious mental energy slowly entered his eyes, sharp pain followed. Xin Fan knew this was refining his eyes, so he did not stop despite the pain, continuing his cultivation. Time passed quickly, and soon it was the next day. In a secluded house in Jiangcheng, Zhang Hongyi and Zhang Wenbin were hiding. After Zhou Dazhang's death, they had lost everything and were now living here in hiding. Zhang Hongyi paced anxiously, frequently glancing at his phone. Dad, is it really going to work? Will Lin Qingyan and the others really die? Zhang Wenbin asked, equally anxious. It should work. That man is a talisman master, a notorious assassin on the dark list, never failing before, Zhang Hongyi replied, though he was also extremely anxious, waiting for news from Su Xiuzhen. At that moment, Zhang Hongyi's phone rang. He quickly answered. Xiuzhen, how's Lin Qingyan? He asked immediately. Nothing happened. Everyone in the villa is fine. What's with that Taoist? Didn't you say Lin Qingyan wouldn't survive the night? I rushed the fool to check on the old lady at dawn, and both Lin Qingyan and the old lady are perfectly fine. Su Xiuzhen's voice was low and furious. Yang Li was dying and held 70% of Xiuli Nidia's shares. She had willed these shares entirely to Lin Qingyan, not leaving any to Su Shouzhen's son or Lin Shanpin. Sholi Media was booming, and with Tianqin Company's media business under its umbrella, it was poised to become a multi-billion-dollar giant in a few years. Even 1% of its shares would be invaluable. But Yang Li's will had left 70% of the shares to Lin Qingyan, adding to her original 15%, making her the owner of 85% of the company. Lin Shanpin only had 15%. This situation filled Su Shouzhen with jealousy and malice, leading her to contact her old lover. They decided to take a drastic step, believing that with Lin Qingyan dead, Shili would belong to Lin Shanpin, and by extension, to Su Shouzhen. They had hired a dark list assassin, who claimed that everyone in the villa would be dead by morning. Yet today, everyone was fine, even Yang Li. Impossible. How can this be? It's absolutely impossible, Jiang Bei muttered in disbelief. Wait, I'll contact that man. He ended the call and dialed another number. Master, the people there are fine, nothing happened, Jiang Bei said, his voice trembling with fear. It can't be. My fatal charm is lethal even to innate martial artists, the master replied coldly. Master, it's true, Jiang Bei said carefully. The master fell silent for a moment. I'll make another attempt. If it fails, you handle it yourself, he said, then hung up. Jiang Bei took a deep breath. Dad, did it fail? Jiang Wenbin asked. Jiang Bei ignored him, thinking hard. It seems we can't rely on this dark list assassin. We need a backup plan, he muttered. Meanwhile, Xin Fan finished his cultivation and slowly opened his eyes. If anyone were present, they would have been astonished by his eyes. They were now adorned with intricate symbols, glowing with a mysterious light. These are the legendary eyes of true sight, able to see through everything and render nothing hidden. Xin Fan thought, marveling at the transformation in his eyes. Chapter 222, The Ritual Refinement of the Little Wreck. The true sight eye, a legendary ocular technique in the cultivation world, could penetrate all things, revealing even those beyond the perception of divine senses. Countless cultivators have sought to master the true sight eye, yet none have succeeded. I, however, have achieved this, likely due to the chaotic pearl, Xin Fan mused with pleasure as he activated the true sight eye, focusing on the chaotic pearl. He wished to see if the true sight eye could unveil the mysteries of the chaotic pearl. Under the gaze of the true sight eye, Xin Fan perceived the intricate patterns of countless great daos on the chaotic pearl, along with the fragmented lines of incomplete daos. Satisfied, he deactivated the true sight eye, returned the chaotic pearl to his body, and walked outside. In the courtyard, he found Catherine washing the little wreck of a car. Catherine, stop for a moment. I intend to refine it, Xin Fan announced. Catherine, puzzled, didn't understand the term refine. Just watch, Xin Fan said, approaching the car as Catherine stepped back. Since you wish to birth a spirit and form an artifact soul, I shall aid you, Xin Fan declared, retrieving a void bottle and the knight's armor of Kent and Joseph's great sword. Master, these are the church's armaments, and all of them are of grade A, Catherine exclaimed in astonishment, recognizing the significant origins of these Western relics at a glance. Indeed, Xin Fan affirmed, recounting his experiences in Huandao City. Oh my God! Catherine gasped, you killed Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary? The Bloody Princess? Xin Fan was surprised by the moniker as he spoke. He raised his hand, causing the little wreck to levitate. Azure flames engulfed it in the ritual fire. Simultaneously, the armor and great sword ascended, merging with the azure flames. Although useless to Xin Fan, the materials were exceptional for refining the car. He had always intended to use them to enhance the vehicle and expedite the maturity of its artifact soul. Catherine was dumbfounded by the scene, forgetting to continue her conversation with Xin Fan. What kind of technique was this? Continue. From your tone, it seems Bloody Mary is no trivial matter, Xin Fan inquired. Having killed the Bloody Princess, he anticipated retribution from the British royal family, ideally involving knights, high priests, or even the Pope. However, the high-ranking officials of Huandao City's police force had assured him that the British royal family would not retaliate but requested he keep Princess Mary's identity secret. Her identity as an international A-level fugitive was an embarrassment to them. Realizing he wouldn't get to confront the knights or the Pope, Xin Fan sighed. Bloody Mary is from hell. Master, by killing her, you've made an enemy of hell, Catherine said, her voice tinged with fear. Hell? What is that? Xin Fan asked, perplexed, while continuing the refinement. The armor and sword had melted into liquid under the azure flames, and Qin Fan was directing the liquid into the car in intricate patterns. Hell is an underground organization in the West, consisting of 72 members representing the 72 pillars of Hell. Each member possesses formidable strength, and only a few dare provoke them, Catherine explained, her voice trembling. Bloody Mary wasn't that strong, Qin Fan remarked dismissively. No, Master, you misunderstand. Bloody Mary was merely a servant of Andromalius, the 72nd demon pillar. By killing her, Andromalius will certainly seek vengeance, Catherine warned urgently. Excellent, Qin Fan's eyes gleamed with excitement. He now understood why the British royal family wouldn't retaliate, they knew Hell would. This pleased him, as he was eager for powerful adversaries to come his way. Excellent? Catherine was stunned. Being targeted by Hell was good news? Master, Hell is an EX-level organization, meaning its strength is immeasurable. There are only 3 such organizations in the entire Western world. Catherine desperately tried to convey the gravity of the situation. I understand. Such a powerful organization likely holds what I seek, Qin Fan replied nonchalantly. By this time, the refinement of the little wreck was nearly complete. The unique materials had fully integrated into the car, and Qin Fan channeled his mana to draw in surrounding spiritual energy, further refining the car and nurturing its artifact soul. Seeing Qin Fan's demeanor, Catherine suddenly considered fleeing. She had once aspired to join Hell, but they had dismissed her. Now, her master had offended Hell, and she feared for her fate. Bang! At that moment, a sound resonated, signaling the completion of the refinement. The car landed on the ground, emanating a strange glow and exuding an aura of Dao charm. Let's test it, Qin Fan said, climbing into the car. The moment he sat down, the car roared to life. Beep beep beep. The central screen lit up with flickering data before displaying the words Qin Dad. Qin Fan was speechless. The car's artifact soul had not only gained intelligence but also referred to him as Dad. Take us to Lin Qingyan, Qin Fan commanded via voice. We're going to find Lin Mom, appeared on the screen. Qin Fan was momentarily stunned by the term Lin Mom. Damn, he exclaimed as the car's engine roared, and he felt a powerful surge as the car sped towards the wall. With a loud crash, it smashed through the half-meter-thick wall of the villa and zoomed away unscathed. Catherine watched in shock, her mouth forming an O as she gazed at the departing car. No wonder Master loves this car, it's a war chariot. Chapter 223, The Assassin from the Dark List. Damn it! Slow down. Don't hit anyone. Qin Fan cursed as he sat in the car. The car's artifact spirit was too wild, speeding up to 200 kilometers per hour. While he wasn't worried about damaging the car, he was concerned about the potential for fatal accidents. After the ritual refinement, this little wreck had become a magical artifact, a foundation building level artifact. If it collided with something, it would be like a foundation building level attack, capable of smashing a small hill. After Qin Fan issued the command, the car finally slowed down. Drive more steadily, Qin Fan instructed, leaning back. Okay, appeared on the central control screen. Qin Fan relaxed, contemplating further modifications for the car. Expand the interior space using spatial laws. Equip it with offensive artifacts, turning it into a war chariot. He thought of many ways to enhance the little wreck. The spontaneous birth of an artifact spirit was rare, and Qin Fan intended to make full use of it. Someone's overtaking me. The central screen displayed more text, snapping Qin Fan out of his thoughts. Ram him. Another message appeared. The engine roared, and the car surged forward, overtaking the vehicle ahead. Damn! Qin Fan cursed again. Was the artifact spirit really this aggressive? The little wreck raced into Jinghu Garden, finally slowing down and stopping in front of a villa. Qin Dad, we're at Lin Mom's house, the central screen displayed. Behave yourself and don't run off, Qin Fan instructed. Okay, the screen responded before the car powered down. Shaking his head, Qin Fan reflected on the car's overly aggressive artifact spirit. It sped up any time someone tried to overtake it, and without his control, it could have caused numerous accidents. Qin Fan got out and walked toward the villa. The previous day's failure to kill made it likely that another attempt would be made soon, so Qin Fan decided to stay for a few days to ensure Lin Qingyan's safety. As he approached the villa, Lin Shanping and Su Xiuzhen emerged. Su Xiuzhen glared at Qin Fan with intense dislike, then hurried Lin Shanping into their car. You're useless, letting them take the company. I can't manage the company. Their argument could be heard from the car. Ignoring them, Xin Fan entered the villa, greeted Wang Anti, and went to check on Yang Li. He tried to persuade her to change her mind, but she refused. Xin Fan returned to his room to cultivate and remain vigilant. Time passed, and evening came. Lin Qingyan returned, and Wang Anti prepared dinner. What's wrong? You seem upset, Xin Fan noticed Lin Qingyan's gloomy expression. Xin Fan, if immortals existed, could they save Grandma? Lin Qingyan forced a smile. Xin Fan almost said, I am one, but held back. Life and death are determined by fate, he finally replied. If you can't say anything nice, say nothing at all, Lin Qingyan pouted, then focused on eating. Xin Fan shrugged and continued eating but soon put down his chopsticks. What's wrong? Is the food not good? Wang Anti asked. That Taoist is here, Xin Fan said, standing up and heading outside. Lin Qingyan also put down her chopsticks, ready to follow. Miss, let Xiao Fan handle it, Wang Anti urged, pulling Lin Qingyan back. After a moment's hesitation, she sat back down. At the side of the villa, Xin Fan leaned against the wall, watching a figure in the distance. The man checked his surroundings, confirmed no one was around, then pulled out 3 talismans and threw them into the air. The talismans turned into wisps of green smoke above Lin Qingyan's villa. This time, with 3 death talismans, there will be no failure, the man smirked before turning to leave. Just then, he stopped abruptly, feeling a hand on his shoulder and hearing a voice, Since you're here, why not come in for a chat? The man's face paled as he tried to muster his internal power, but found it sealed. Save your strength. Come inside, Xin Fan said, dragging him into the villa like a chicken and throwing him onto the floor. It's really him. Lin Qingyan's expression changed upon seeing the Taoist, now believing Xin Fan's warnings. Clearly, he had failed last time and returned for another attempt. Who sent you? Lin Qingyan demanded. I am an assassin. We have our codes and never betray our clients, the Taoist replied, then looked at Xin Fan. I underestimated you. I accept my fate. He closed his eyes, refusing to speak further. Lin Qingyan was at a loss. Wang Anti explained, Miss, if he is truly an assassin, he won't reveal his employer. Lin Qingyan recalled some assassin legends and nodded. I hoped you would talk, but since you won't, I'll find out myself, Xin Fan said, placing a hand on the Taoist's head, ready to perform a soul search. Ah! The Taoist screamed as his soul suddenly shattered, blood streaming from his orifices. What happened? Lin Qingyan exclaimed. He's dead, Xin Fan withdrew his hand, frowning. There was a restriction in his soul, causing it to self-destruct during the soul search. He hadn't expected this common cultivation world tactic to appear on Earth, catching him off guard. Contact the security bureau. Find out who he is, Xin Fan instructed. Lin Qingyan quickly made the call. The security bureau chief, Li Weidong, arrived personally 15 minutes later. Miss Lin, Mr. Xin, this man is likely Wu Zunyi, an assassin ranked 87th on the dark list, he reported after an inspection. Dark list? What's that? Lin Qingyan asked, puzzled. Miss Lin, you might not be familiar with the underworld or the dark world. The dark list is a global assassin ranking. The higher the rank, the more formidable the assassin and the more lives they've taken, Li Weidong explained. Hiring Wu Zunyi means someone wants you dead. Be very careful. Chapter 224, I only have one father Qin, but I have many mothers. Be cautious. How can one be cautious? There's no such thing as 1,000 days of thievery without 1,000 days of precautions. Isn't the most important thing right now to find out who's trying to harm me? Lin Qingyan spoke after listening to Li Weidong's words. Li Weidong remained silent for a moment, then nodded and said, Indeed, as Miss Lin has said, our security bureau will promptly investigate and uncover who was behind the attempt to harm Miss Lin and bring them to justice. Meanwhile, during this period, the security bureau will also increase personnel to protect Miss Lin. Upon hearing this, Lin Qingyan smiled and said, Thank you very much, Director Li. You're welcome, Li Weidong replied, then took his leave. After seeing Li Weidong off, Lin Qingyan sighed helplessly and said, Someone must be envious of Xiuli's progress. Lin Qingyan could guess roughly, but she really couldn't believe that her stepmother would want to kill her. After all, Lin Shanpin had 15% of the shares, and given Xiuli's momentum, those shares were worth more than 1 billion yuan. And she knew her father too well. That 15% of the shares, rather than being her father Lin Shanping's, were essentially Su Shouxian's. Anyway, be careful during this time, and I suggest you drive a less conspicuous car. Qin Fan said. What less conspicuous car? That's my treasure, Lin Qingyan retorted. That car is for you to use. I'll use my own car. I'll switch cars soon. Qin Fan shrugged. There couldn't be a better car than that. After dinner, Qin Fan returned to his room. Not long after he returned, his phone rang. Qin Fan glanced at it. It was Jiang Qingning calling. He answered. What's up? Qin Fan, are you free tomorrow? Jiang Qingning asked. Why? What's the matter? Qin Fan inquired. Tomorrow, I need to go to Jiang Bei. Shen Yao's wife has given birth, and he can't leave, so I thought the best bodyguard would be you. I'd like you to accompany me to Jiang Bei, Jiang Qingning explained. Be your bodyguard? To Jiang Bei? What for? Qin Fan questioned. The Jiangnan and Jiang Bei business associations meet every 5 years to discuss trade benefits. The previous president of the association was my grandfather, but now I'm the president, representing Jiangnan in the negotiations with Jiang Bei, Jiang Qingning explained to Qin Fan. After hearing this, Qin Fan understood the situation. Jiangnan and Jiang Bei were adjacent regions. To avoid conflicts over interests, their business associations signed a trade agreement every 5 years to delineate their respective interests and prevent disputes. In the past, Jiangnan was always at a disadvantage in these negotiations due to its weaker economy, commerce, and martial prowess compared to Jiang Bei. However, with the economic benefits brought by Tianqin Company's 2 products, this time the proportions needed to be renegotiated. Alright, Qin Fan thought for a moment. Since it concerned Tianqin Company's business interests, he decided to go. The next day, Lin Qingyan went to work as usual, accompanied by security personnel from the bureau, while Qin Fan drove his old car to meet Jiang Qingning. Today, Jiang Qingning was dressed in a smart business outfit, exuding competence and professionalism due to her regular use of Hongyan and Changqing elixirs. She looked increasingly beautiful and refined. Why are you still driving that old car? Jiang Qingning couldn't help but complain upon seeing Qin Fan's car. She had prepared many luxury cars for him, but he didn't like any of them, only driving this old car. Don't underestimate this old car. It's quite extraordinary now. You'll understand once you get in, Qin Fan said. Jiang Qingning raised her eyebrows, skeptical, but got into the passenger seat. Jiang Mom. As soon as she sat down, the dashboard screen displayed 2 words. Both Qin Fan and Jiang Qingning were stunned. Qin Fan was surprised at how the car called Jiang Qingning Jiang Mom. Jiang Qingning was astonished by the words that appeared. Why do you keep recognizing new moms? Qin Fan remarked. I only have one father Qin, but I have many moms, like Mother Lin and Mother Jiang. They are all my moms. As soon as Qin Fan finished speaking, a line of text with an exclamation mark appeared on the screen. Damn. Qin Fan couldn't stand it, it made him seem like he had many women. Jiang Qingning was equally shocked by the statement. Artificial intelligence, or what? Jiang Qingning asked. Qin Fan explained, and Jiang Qingning was amazed. Eventually, Jiang Qingning laughed heartily. From now on, I won't call you an old car anymore. I love what you say. I'll be your mother Jiang from now on. She even patted the dashboard affectionately. Qin Fan was bewildered. Let's go to Jiang Bei. Okay. The screen immediately displayed 2 words, and the car sped off like a bolt of lightning. Slow down. Qin Fan shouted. Jiang Qingning screamed beside him. The old car was moving too fast. Eventually, they got on the highway, and the old car cruised smoothly. Is it just you at the negotiation? Qin Fan asked once the car steadied. Jiang Qingning, still recovering from the ride, understood why Qin Fan loved this car. It was probably the best car in the world. No, many have already gone ahead. We'll meet at the hotel, and the negotiation is in the evening, Jiang Qingning finally said. Qin Fan nodded, and they let the car's spirit control the vehicle while they discussed Jiang Bei. The forces in Jiang Bei are quite unified, with the strongest being the Yao family, which is actually more powerful than the Wang family, Jiang Qingning said. Sounds formidable, Qin Fan remarked. My grandfather said that Yao Haihe, the Yao family's patriarch, was once ranked 15th in the heavenly rankings, with immense power, supposedly nearing the legendary god realm. Because of Yao Haihe, Jiang Bei is very dominant. This time, we aim to achieve a 50-50 split, but they will likely oppose it. However, we now have the strength to push for it, Jiang Qingning explained. Okay, Xin Fan responded. Halfway through their journey, Jiang Qingning's phone suddenly rang. It was a call from a businessman in Jiangnan. She answered it immediately. President, bad news. The vice president and 3 other officials died in a car accident. The shocking news left Jiang Qingning's face pale. Chapter 225, Threats? I can do that too. Soon, Xin Fan and Jiang Qingning arrived in Jinling, the capital of Jiang Bei, and checked into the hotel where the Jiangnan Chamber of Commerce members were staying. Upon seeing them, the chamber members expressed their delight. What exactly happened? Why did Chairman Dong suddenly have an accident? Jiang Qingning immediately inquired. It was a car accident. Chairman Dong and 3 officials were on their way here from the highway when their car was hit by a cement truck. Everyone, including the truck driver, died, one of the chamber officials explained. This is a threat. Jiang Qingning's face turned cold upon hearing this. Tonight was the night to negotiate the division of interests, and now the vice chairman and 3 officials were dead in a car accident. It was obvious this was intentional. Chairman Dong, that plump Dong Qianli? Xin Fan asked. Yes, Jiang Qingning replied. Chairman Dong was leading the negotiations this time, focusing on expanding Tianqin Company's products overseas. His goal was to secure at least a 50-50 split, ideally 60% for us. Dong Qianli might have been the vice chairman, but in the Jiangnan Chamber of Commerce, he was the one in charge. Especially after I became the chamber president, he fully supported me, offering strategies and securing various interests for Jiangnan, she explained, her expression sorrowful. It seems Jiang Bei doesn't want to make concessions this time. Negotiating in Jinling, on their turf, is going to be very dangerous, remarked the chamber members, their voices filled with trepidation. This was supposed to be a regular negotiation, but the other side resorted to murder, revealing their ruthless nature. Many of the participants now feared for their safety and wanted to withdraw. This time, Mr. Xin and I will handle the negotiations. The rest of you should focus on your safety, Jiang Qingning declared. The others exchanged uneasy glances. Miss Jiang, isn't it too risky for just the 2 of you to go? Someone asked. Don't worry, with Mr. Xin here, there won't be any problems, Jiang Qingning reassured them. Considering Xin Fan's strength, the members finally agreed with Jiang Qingning's plan. After resting for 2 hours at the hotel, Xin Fan and Jiang Qingning set off for the negotiation venue, still driving the little beaten-up car. The journey took about 30 minutes. The president of the Jiang Bei Chamber of Commerce, Hu Yang, has recently taken office, just like me. I didn't expect him to be so ruthless. Jiang Qingning fumed. Xin Fan nodded, ready to respond, but was interrupted suddenly. A loud screeching noise came from outside, and a truck barreled out of a junction, heading straight for them. Ah! Jiang Qingning screamed, her eyes wide with fear. Trying to hit us? I'll crush you first. The words appeared on the car's control panel. The little car accelerated abruptly, slamming into the truck with tremendous force. The truck was instantly bisected, billowing smoke as it rolled on the street, while the little car remained unscathed, continuing forward. Jiang Qingning was stunned, unable to believe what had just happened. Don't worry, not even a tank could withstand this car, Xin Fan said nonchalantly. The little car was now a cultivator-grade artifact. Even a fully armed tank couldn't compete, let alone a mere truck. It must be Hu Yang's doing. Jiang Qingning spat. Absolutely, Xin Fan agreed, his face darkening. Hu Yang thinks he can control everything in Jinling, but I won't let him. Jiang Qingning's eyes blazed with fury. Soon, they arrived at the Jiang Bei Chamber of Commerce headquarters, where the negotiation was to take place. Normally, such events were celebrated with banners and floral displays, with members welcoming the guests. This time, however, there was none of that, only a cold reception. After confirming their identities with a guard, an assistant hurriedly came out to escort Jiang Qingning and Xin Fan inside. Jiang Qingning suppressed her anger and followed the assistant. Miss Jiang, the president and others are in the conference room. Please proceed, the assistant said with a smile. Jiang Qingning entered the room with Xin Fan, facing 10 representatives from the Jiang Bei chamber. They all wore mocking smiles. Miss Jiang, I heard you were in a car accident. I was about to visit you in the hospital, but it seems you're unscathed, a man in his 40s, exuding authority, spoke up. His words left no doubt that he was behind the attack. Jiang Qingning took a seat, ignoring his jibe. Miss Jiang, where are your other delegates? The man, Hu Yang, asked, feigning surprise. They won't be coming. I am fully authorized to negotiate, Jiang Qingning replied coldly. Are you sure? We've got 10 people here, and you're just 2? Hu Yang taunted. Why aren't they here? You know perfectly well, Hu Yang, Jiang Qingning retorted. I don't understand. I know Chairman Dong died in a car accident, but that has nothing to do with us. I've already called for a thorough investigation. Hu Yang said, pretending to be concerned. Stop wasting time. Let's start the negotiations, Jiang Qingning said sternly. Negotiate? How? With just the 2 of you? How can you represent Jiangnan? Hu Yang sneered. I've already told you, we represent the Jiangnan chamber. They approved it. There's nothing to prevent the negotiation, Jiang Qingning stated firmly. All right, if you insist. But the terms remain the same as 5 years ago, 70% for Jiang Bei, 30% for Jiangnan. That way, you won't have to explain anything to your chamber. After all, they agreed to it 5 years ago, Hu Yang said, grinning. Hu Yang, don't push your luck. Jiang Qingning snapped, standing up. I demand 50%. 50%? Hu Yan laughed coldly. Miss Jiang, Chairman Dong's body is barely cold, and you know this is Jinling. Ask for too much, and accidents can happen. Are you threatening me? Jiang Qingning asked, her voice icy. Threats? No, I don't threaten. Business is always mutual, Hu Yang said smugly. As he finished, the conference room door opened, and a middle-aged man walked in. He was muscular, exuding an aura of power. Miss Jiang, this gentleman is Long Yi, a disciple of Master Yao. He's here to convey Master Yao's words, Hu Yang introduced. I didn't want to involve the Yao family, but you leave me no choice, he added. Master Yao advises harmony between Jiang Bei and Jiangnan to avoid conflict over minor interests. He suggests maintaining the status quo, Long Yi said arrogantly. If Jiangnan disagrees, he invites you to his residence for tea, Long Yi continued, his tone condescending. Miss Jiang, did you hear that? Either sign the same agreement as 5 years ago, or leave. If you refuse, we'll continue with the old terms for another year, and next year, we might demand more, Hu Yang smirked. Jiang Qingning's face darkened at the blatant threat. I agree to 70-30. Jiangnan 70, Jiang Bei 30. Prepare the agreement, Qin Fan said calmly. The Jiang Bei representatives were stunned, then laughed. Miss Jiang, does this person even understand the situation? Hu Yang mocked. Clearly not. Master Yao dislikes conflict, but some people don't get it, Long Yi said, preparing to act. Bang! Suddenly, a loud noise filled the room. Long Yi was pulled towards Jiang Qingning by an invisible force. Qin Fan grabbed him by the throat, lifting him off the ground. Long Yi struggled, his face turning red. What are you doing? Hu Yang and the others shouted, slamming the table. Threats? I can do that too, Qin Fan said calmly. Crack! A bone-breaking sound echoed, and Long Yi's neck twisted unnaturally. He was dead. The room fell into a stunned silence. Chapter 226, Yao Haihe meets Master Qin. A threat, you say? I can issue those too. Qin Fan, smiling broadly, addressed the members of the Jiang Bei Chamber of Commerce while snapping Long Yi's neck. Hu Yang and his companions stared at Qin Fan in utter disbelief, their eyes wide with shock. None of them could have imagined that Qin Fan would kill someone so casually, especially a disciple of Yao Haihe. Yao Haihe, the king of Jiang Bei, was revered by everyone in Jiang Bei, and now, his disciple had been killed without warning. To anyone, this was clearly a death wish. Bang! Qin Fan casually tossed Long Yi's body to the ground. Only then did the people of Jiang Bei snap back to reality. Do you know where you are? How dare you kill someone here? Do you know who he was? He was Mr. Yao's disciple. You're doomed, absolutely doomed. As they came to their senses, the people of Jiang Bei, especially Hu Yang, roared in rage, nearly losing their minds. Guards, guards! Hu Yang shouted frantically. Since he had called Long Yi here, he had to take action to make Qin Fan pay, to account for this to Yao Haihe. Qin Fan. Jiang Qingning had also come to her senses, stunned that Qin Fan had killed so readily, leaving her momentarily speechless. At this moment, the conference room doors were violently flung open, and more than a dozen armed bodyguards burst in, aiming their weapons at Qin Fan and Jiang Qingning. Hu Yang immediately waved his hand. Bang! 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 Gunfire erupted continuously as the bodyguards mercilessly fired at Qin Fan and Jiang Qingning. Jiang Qingning screamed and shut her eyes in terror. Boom! Just as the bullets were about to hit them, a thunderous roar erupted, followed by a shockwave. The bullets were deflected by the shockwave, piercing the bodyguards' foreheads and killing them instantly. The bodyguards fell to the ground, dead, without even a scream. The people of Jiang Bei, witnessing this scene, turned pale with fear, their anger replaced by sheer terror. Was this even human? Deflecting bullets to kill? Anyone else? Qin Fan asked calmly. You. Do you realize what you've done? Hu Yang, shaking with fear, managed to speak. This was Jiang Bei, this was Jinling's city, their territory. He wasn't afraid. At worst, he could call upon Yao Haihe. Negotiations, Qin Fan said, turning to Jiang Qingning. Can the agreement be altered? Jiang Qingning, having regained her composure, replied, it can be changed. Qin Fan nodded and then asked Yao Haihe's people, 80% for Jiangnan, 20% for Jiang Bei. Who agrees? Who objects? 80-20? Impossible. Hu Yang shouted vehemently, if you object, then 90-10. Jiangnan gets 90, Jiang Bei 10, Qin Fan said, still smiling. Impossible. Hu Yang's face turned ashen. Then Jiangnan will take it all, Qin Fan said, motioning for Jiang Qingning to bring out the agreement. Jiang Qingning quickly altered the agreement, making Jiangnan take everything as Qin Fan instructed. Qin Fan tossed the agreement to them and said, today, you have only one choice, sign this agreement. You dare threaten Jiang Bei? Hu Yang snarled, looking at the agreement thrown before him. No, no threats. Everything is voluntary. But if you're not willing, I'll make you willing, Qin Fan said with a smile. Hu Yang felt a chill down his spine. He knew Qin Fan would kill if they didn't comply. He steadied himself and said, I can't make this decision. I need to contact Mr. Yao. Feel free, Qin Fan replied nonchalantly. Everyone knew Hu Yang was stalling for Yao Haihe's help, but Qin Fan didn't care. Once Yao Haihe was dealt with, there would be no more problems in Jiang Bei. Hu Yang, surprised by Qin Fan's agreement, quickly stepped aside to make a call. Soon, a strong voice answered, Hu Yang, is there a problem with the negotiations? Mr. Yao, a madman came here and killed your disciple, Long Yi. Now he demands everything. Hu Yang reported. Crash. The sound of breaking porcelain echoed from the other end, clearly indicating Yao Haihe's fury. Who dares kill my disciple and make such outrageous demands? Yao Haihe asked coldly. His name is Qin Fan, Hu Yang replied. Qin Fan? Yao Haihe was taken aback, looking at a list before him. From Jiangchun, Jiangnan? Yes, and Jiang Qingning is from Jiangqing too, Hu Yang confirmed. I'll be right there, Yao Haihe said, his voice trembling slightly before he hung up. Hu Yang mistook Yao Haihe's trembling voice for anger, thinking he was enraged. After hanging up, Hu Yang returned and said to Qin Fan, Mr. Yao is coming personally. You'll wait. Oh. Qin Fan replied nonchalantly. Qin Fan, are you sure about this? Jiang Qingning asked, worried. Yao Haihe coming personally could spell trouble, given his status and power. It's nothing major, Qin Fan replied, sipping his tea calmly. They were here to resolve matters once and for all, leaving no loose ends. Soon, there was a commotion outside the conference room. He's here. Hu Yang looked toward the door. Led by the chamber's people, a dignified old man in traditional attire strode in. Yao Haihe, despite his age, exuded a commanding presence. In moments, he entered the conference room. Upon seeing Long Ye's body, he took a deep breath. Hu Yang rushed over, respectfully saying, Mr. Yao, the other side's demands are excessive, and they've resorted to violence. We had no choice but to call you. Hu Yang pointed towards Qin Fan, indicating he was the culprit. The people of Jiang Bei, sensing the imminent showdown, were eager to see Qin Fan pay, killing Yao Haihe's disciple and making outrageous demands. He was doomed. Yao Haihe looked at Qin Fan, his heart trembling. He quickly approached, a respectful smile on his face, and greeted him. Yao Haihe greets Master Qin. Chapter 227, Lin Qingyan is missing. Yao Haihe greets Master Qin. At these words, the people of Jiang Bei were taken aback, their eyes wide with disbelief. Seeing Yao Haihe, the foremost figure in Jiang Bei, showing such deference to a young man made their hearts pound wildly. Could this young man possess a significant background? A famous saying goes, one does not strike a smiling face. With Yao Haihe displaying such respect, Qin Fan found it difficult to be hostile and simply asked, "Do you know me?" "Master Qin, I am, after all, a figure on the heavenly rankings. I pay attention to changes there." When the rankings updated, the name Qin Fan climbed from the 50th position to the 10th in less than a month. How could I not notice? Yao Haihe replied, smiling deferentially. Yao Haihe himself was ranked 15th, but he knew well the chasm that separated him from Qin Fan. The gap in power between the top 10 and the lower ranks of the heavenly rankings was immense. Moreover, Qin Fan's rise had prompted an early update of the rankings, marking him as a future contender for the top spot. For the members of the Jiang Bei Chamber of Commerce, Qin Fan's name meant nothing. They were experts in commerce, not the martial world, and were unaware of the recent updates to the heavenly rankings. If they had known, they would never have dared to provoke someone from Jiangnan. Initially, even Yao Haihe had doubted the reports, wondering why someone of Qin Fan's stature would personally attend a business negotiation. Yet, here he was, in person. Mr. Yao. Hu Yang couldn't help but call out. Sign the agreement. Yao Haihe turned to Hu Yang and said, "Mr. Yao, this demands everything. It severely impacts our profits and your own interests." Hu Yang exclaimed, raising his voice in disbelief at Yao Haihe's agreement. The Jiang Bei Chamber of Commerce paid Yao's family a third of its annual profits. Losing all their profits would cost the Yao family billions, yet Yao Haihe agreed. "Life is more valuable than money," Yao Haihe replied, looking at Hu Yang meaningfully. Understanding the implicit threat, Hu Yang tensed up. The message was clear: refusal meant death. Still reluctant to lose billions annually, Hu Yang protested, "But Mr. Yao, your disciple, Mr. Long Yi, was killed by him. That ingrate deserved death for offending Master Qin," Yao Haihe replied coldly, his eyes piercing into Hu Yang's. Even if it had been his son killed by Qin Fan, he could do nothing. The top 10 of the heavenly rankings were not to be trifled with, not by the Yao family or anyone. Hu Yang felt a chill from Yao Haihe's glare, realizing the gravity of the situation reluctantly, he said, "We'll sign as you wish, Mr. Yao." Only then did Yao Haihe retract his icy gaze and nod. Quickly, Hu Yang, on behalf of the Jiang Bei Chamber of Commerce, signed the utterly unequal agreement with Jiang Qingning. Jiang Qingning accepted the signed agreement, her smile radiant. Bringing Qin Fan along had proven to be the right decision. After signing, Hu Yang shot Jiang Qingning a fierce glare. The vice president of Jiangnan Chamber of Commerce died in a car accident in Jinling City, and we were attacked by a truck en route. The mastermind behind these events must be brought to justice, Qin Fan's calm voice interrupted. Hu Yang froze. Yao Haihe's face changed slightly, then he smiled, "Rest assured, Master Qin, I will ensure you receive justice." He knew exactly who was responsible. Qin Fan's demand for justice likely meant a life for a life. "I will hold you to that. If I don't see results in 3 days, I'll handle it personally," Qin Fan responded, then whispered to Jiang Qingning before they both left, leaving the Jiang Bei crowd behind. "Mr. Yao, who is that man? Why did you react like that?" Hu Yang couldn't hold back any longer. "Hu Yang, remember this, he is not someone we can afford to provoke," Yao Haihe warned. The room fell silent. If even Yao Haihe couldn't afford to provoke this man, what kind of background did he have? From one of the true great families? "Hu Yang, you heard what Master Qin said. Do what you must," Yao Haihe instructed. Hu Yang's face turned pale. "Mr. Yao, this. Someone must take responsibility. If you don't, many will die when Master Qin acts," Yao Haihe said calmly. "Rest assured, your family will be taken care of." With that, Yao Haihe stepped forward, lightly tapping Hu Yang's forehead. Blood flowed, and Hu Yang collapsed, dead. Qin Fan and Jiang Qingning returned to the hotel, sharing the results of the negotiation with the Jiangnan group, who found it hard to believe until they saw the agreement. "It's late. Let's stay in Jinling City tonight," Jiang Qingning suggested with a bright smile, clearly wanting to spend more time with Qin Fan. Qin Fan considered it, thinking a night in Jinling City wouldn't hurt, and was about to agree when his phone rang. It was Aunt Wang. "Xiaofan, where are you?" Aunt Wang's voice was heavy. "I'm in Jinling City with the Jiangnan Chamber of Commerce." "Why?" Xin Fan asked. "The old lady, she just passed away." Wang Lu's voice was choked with grief. Xin Fan paused, having expected this but still feeling the loss. "Does Qin Yan know?" "I tried calling her, but I can't reach her. She's neither at the company nor at home." "I thought she might be with you," Wang Lu said, confused and worried. Frowning, Xin Fan sensed something was wrong. "Don't worry, Aunt Wang. I'll find Qin Yan." Chapter 228, Observing with Meticulous Detail. "What's wrong?" Jiang Qingning immediately inquired as she saw Qin Fan put down the phone. "Qin Yan is likely in trouble. I need to return to Jiangcheng immediately," Qin Fan replied. Yang Li had passed away, and he had promised to protect Lin Qingyan, a promise he intended to keep. In trouble? Who would dare harm Lin Qingyan in Jiangcheng? Jiang Qingning exclaimed, astonished. "In any case, I must go." "Take care of the old car," Qin Fan said. Then, with a swift motion, he soared towards Jiangcheng. Watching Qin Fan depart, Jiang Qingning pondered briefly before taking out her phone to contact her family for assistance. Qin Fan's flying speed was remarkable. The distance from Jinling to Jiangcheng was about 800 kilometers, yet he arrived within 3 minutes. Upon reaching Jiangcheng, he headed straight to the office of Lin Qingyan at Shioli Media. "Are you Mr. Qin Fan, Ms. Lin's boyfriend?" Upon entering the office, Qin Fan encountered Guiya, Lin Qingyan's assistant, busy at work. "Where is Ms. Lin?" Qin Fan inquired, eyes fixed on Guiya. "Ms. Lin left after working late, and now I'm here working overtime by myself," Guiya replied with a look of dismay. Shioli's business had been overwhelming recently, leading to relentless overtime for the entire company, though the generous compensation was a small consolation. Frowning, Qin Fan asked, "When did she leave?" "About 3 hours ago," Guiya glanced at the clock, noting it was now past 10 p.m. "Did she do anything unusual before she left?" Qin Fan pressed. "No, everything seemed normal," Guiya replied, then asked, "What's going on?" "Nothing," Qin Fan said, leaving Shioli Media hurriedly. In 3 hours, Lin Qingyan could have gone quite far, possibly even left Jiangcheng. Qin Fan released his divine sense, but it could only cover half the city. Moreover, if he fully extended his divine sense, the pressure from his mid-stage nascent soul cultivation would be unbearable for ordinary people, potentially causing countless innocent deaths. Thus, tracking her wasn't going to be easy. "I made a mistake. Knowing that someone might harm Qingyan, I should have left a part of my consciousness with her. They chose the perfect moment when I left Jiangcheng," Qin Fan thought to himself as he exited the office, shaking his head in regret. Reflecting on his actions, he realized he had not been attentive enough towards Lin Qingyan. Immediately, he dialed Li Weidong, the director of public security. "Mr. Qin, what brings you to call so late?" Li Weidong's voice came through as soon as the call connected. "Lin Qingyan left the company 3 hours ago and is now unreachable. You had people protecting her. See if you can contact them," Qin Fan instructed. "What?" Li Weidong was shocked. "Mr. Qin, please hold on. I'll get in touch with them right away." He hung up quickly. Qin Fan headed straight to the Public Security Bureau. On the way, Li Weidong called back, confirming that the people assigned to protect Lin Qingyan were unreachable, proving she was indeed in trouble. Soon, Qin Fan arrived at the bureau where Li Weidong had already arrived, visibly anxious. "Pull up all the surveillance footage around Shioli Media," Li Weidong ordered immediately. Although Lin Qingyan had been missing for only 3 hours, which was typically too short to file a missing person report, Qin Fan's status prompted swift action. An hour later, Li Weidong, having reviewed the footage, looked at Qin Fan. "What are your thoughts after watching it?" Qin Fan asked. "The critical point is that after leaving work, Ms. Lin's car left Shioli Media but suddenly changed direction midway, heading in the opposite direction and taking side roads with fewer cameras. We lost track of her car after it left the city," Li Weidong analyzed, showcasing his professional insight. Qin Fan watched the footage, noticing the red BMW speeding down the road. "No, Qingyan wasn't driving." "She wouldn't drive that fast," Qin Fan remarked suddenly. "Why do you think so?" Li Weidong asked, surprised. Xingyan isn't the type to rush, and if she had an emergency, she would have made arrangements. Earlier, her assistant Guiya confirmed that she left as usual without any special preparations. Therefore, there was no reason for her to drive that fast, Qin Fan explained. Li Weidong rewound the video, realizing Qin Fan was correct. During the day, Lin Xingyan's driving was steady, but after leaving at night, her car's speed was uncharacteristically fast. The Public Security Bureau staff looked at Qin Fan with admiration for his meticulous observation. Driving habits are consistent and don't change suddenly. If Qin Fan hadn't noticed this detail, they would have pursued the wrong direction. It seems Qingyan was kidnapped right after leaving the office, and the car is a decoy, Qin Fan concluded. Quick, check the surveillance for any suspicious vehicles entering and leaving Sholi Nidia and its vicinity, Li Weidong ordered. Sholi Nidia was in a busy commercial district, making the search tedious. Increase the playback speed, I'll watch it myself, Qin Fan said. The bureau staff were astonished. How could anyone follow at 32 times speed? But Li Weidong complied, speeding up the footage. Despite the accelerated pace, everything appeared slow to Qin Fan. Stop at 18 hours 51 minutes and 46 seconds. Qin Fan suddenly shouted. The staff paused the video, revealing a black sedan entering the underground parking. Mr. Qin, what about this car? Li Weidong asked, puzzled. It entered at 18:51 and left at 19:07. The timing matches. Investigate this vehicle, Qin Fan instructed. The staff checked the specified time and found the sedan leaving the garage. The 18-minute window aligned with Lin Xingyan's kidnapping. Everyone at the bureau was astonished by Qin Fan's ability to spot details at such high speed, down to the second, truly remarkable. Investigate immediately, Li Weidong ordered. Within 10 minutes, the bureau traced the car's route. Mr. Qin, the car left the eastern part of Jiangcheng about 2 hours ago. We've lost its trail, but Ms. Lin is likely still in it. I'll dispatch the security forces now, Li Weidong informed. No need, I'll handle it myself, Qin Fan replied, promptly leaving the bureau. Chapter 229, You Won't Get Away. In an abandoned factory on the outskirts of eastern Jiangcheng, Lin Xingyan sat bound hand and foot to a chair, her gaze fixed intently on a woman standing nearby. The woman, arms crossed and a sneer playing on her lips, looked at Lin Xingyan and said, What's the matter, Lin Xingyan? Do you think you can kill me with that look? Su Xiuzhen, I know we don't get along, but I never imagined you'd resort to such despicable and shameless methods as kidnapping. Lin Xingyan retorted angrily. Lin Xingyan and her stepmother, Su Xiuzhen, indeed had a strained relationship. Despite their animosity, Lin Xingyan had never thought of using underhanded tactics. After all, Su Xiuzhen was her father's legal wife, and Lin Xingyan cared about her father's well-being. She could never have predicted that Su Xiuzhen would stoop to kidnapping. After finishing her overtime at the office, Lin Xingyan received a call from Su Xiuzhen, who said she was waiting in the underground parking garage to discuss something. Trusting her stepmother, Lin Xingyan dismissed the security detail assigned to protect her. Unexpectedly, as soon as she was alone with Su Xiuzhen, she was dragged into a car by waiting accomplices and abducted. She knew that her stepmother wanted to seize Sholi's shares for her son, but she hadn't anticipated that Su Xiuzhen would collude with the Jiang family to harm her. Despicable? Su Xiuzhen sneered. Where am I despicable? Your slut mother was a bar girl who seduced my husband, resulting in you. Now, a bastard daughter wants to take over Sholi? The Lin family must be crazy. That old hag was clearly fooled by you, otherwise, she would have left Sholi to her grandson, not to a bastard like you. But I'm not senile. Forget about taking what's ours. You're truly shameless. My mother knew my father long before he met you. She was already pregnant with me, and they were about to get married when you seduced him and coerced my weak-willed father into marriage. And now you're pretending to be innocent? Truly disgusting, Lin Xingyan countered, eyes blazing with defiance. Slut. Su Xiuzhen's face twisted with rage as she stepped forward and slapped Lin Xingyan hard. Turning her head, however, Lin Xingyan, undeterred, turned back, glaring at Su Xiuzhen. Do you think I don't know that Lin Jiawei isn't my father's biological son? Or that my grandmother didn't know he isn't her biological grandson? Only my father believes you, you despicable woman. You're nothing but a whore who's been with countless men. Su Xiuzhen's expression flickered, and she asked, You and that old hag knew? Lin Xingyan laughed, Su Xiuzhen, you're truly stupid. I was just baiting you, and you fell for it. She had always suspected that Lin Jiawei wasn't her father's son, and Su Xiuzhen had just confirmed it. Furious and humiliated, Su Xiuzhen slapped Lin Qingyan again, harder this time, drawing blood from the corner of her mouth and leaving her face swollen. Enough, Xiuzhen. Don't waste time. Make her sign the transfer agreement quickly before things get complicated, said Zhang Hongyi, who had been watching from the sidelines. Humph. Su Xiuzhen snorted, pulling out an agreement. Lin Qingyan, sign this agreement now, transferring all Shioli shares to Jiawei. Keep dreaming, Lin Qingyan responded coldly. I know you're stubborn, but think carefully. If you don't sign, do you know what will happen to you? Su Xiuzhen sneered, her hand caressing Lin Qingyan's face menacingly. Such a pretty face, such an attractive body. Many men would love to have you. If you don't sign, I'll let some beggars have their way with you. Tui. Lin Qingyan spat in Su Xiuzhen's face. Wiping her face, Su Xiuzhen slapped Lin Qingyan again, shouting, Slut. You won't give up until you're dead, will you? Today, I'll watch as a group of beggars ravage you. We need to leave immediately. A low, stern voice suddenly rang out. A tall, Western man with blonde hair, wearing a black trench coat and sunglasses, approached Su Xiuzhen and Zhang Hongyi turned to him, puzzled. Someone's coming, the man said. Didn't you say this plan was foolproof? How could they find us? You took 3 million from me. Su Xiuzhen snapped. The man, named Eric, was Zhang Hongyi's contact. After a failed attempt by an assassin, Zhang Hongyi had reached out to Eric through Hua Tianmen, seeking a stronger organization. Eric, the leader of the Southeast Asian assassin group Black Crow, had a formidable reputation. Once a knight commander of the Western Sacred Order, Eric had been falsely accused and hunted, eventually rescued by a member of Hell, to whom he pledged loyalty. Following orders, he established Black Crow in Southeast Asia, notorious for their ruthless efficiency. Mrs. Su, I never promised a flawless plan. I merely employed some delaying tactics. However, the opponent has a formidable expert, and we've been discovered. We must move quickly, Eric explained calmly. Su Xiuzhen, alarmed, protested, Eric, this is my entire fortune at stake. I can't afford to fail. 3 million? Eric scoffed. 3 million wouldn't usually hire me. I accepted to gauge the strength of this so-called forbidden land of the gods. Black Crow had long coveted the market in Xia country, but its formidable reputation had deterred them. This task was a test, and if things went awry, they would retreat immediately. We must leave now. Eric insisted. You won't get away. A voice suddenly echoed. Eric's face changed. He grabbed Su Xiuzhen and Zhang Hongyi, retreating swiftly. Boom! A figure descended from the sky, landing with a resounding crash. Xin Fan! Lin Qingyan shouted, her voice filled with relief. Chapter 230, The Countermove. Lin Qingyan gazed in shock at Xin Fan, who descended from the sky. Not only her, but everyone else stared at Xin Fan in disbelief, especially as they looked up at the hole he had created in the ceiling. This hole confirmed to everyone that Xin Fan had indeed fallen from the sky. The roof of this factory was constructed with reinforced concrete, yet it had been smashed through. Was this the work of the Hulk? Xin Fan glanced at the bound Lin Qingyan, waved his hand, and the rope snapped immediately. He then asked, Are you all right? Lin Qingyan, snapping back to reality at his question, replied, I'm fine. Your face is swollen, and you say you're fine. Xin Fan reached out and gently touched her face, whereupon a soft white light flickered. Instantly, Lin Qingyan felt no pain, and the swelling disappeared. Who are you? Eric regarded Xin Fan with extreme caution. He is the Xin Fan I told you about, the one who killed Zhou Zhang, known as Master Qin of Jiangnan. Zhang Hongyi said from the side. Lin Qingyan was taken aback by Zhang Hongyi's words but did not ask further, as it was not the right time. Xin Fan then looked at Su Xiuzhen and said, So, it was you who wanted to kill Qingyan? I really didn't expect that. Yes, because of her, I was kidnapped and the people from the security bureau were harmed, Lin Qingyan said. Believing Su Xiuzhen, she had sent the security personnel away, likely leading to their deaths. Alright, you don't mind if I kill Su Xiuzhen, do you? Xin Fan asked. After all, she was Lin Qingyan's stepmother, he needed to be certain. Kill? Lin Qingyan was stunned. You intend to kill her? In this situation, is there any other solution? Xin Fan retorted. Lin Xingyan fell silent. She had never encountered such a life-and-death scenario before, and now her husband was about to commit murder in front of her. It was hard to accept. I don't mind. However, she quickly understood. When Zhang Hongyi called Xin Fan Master Qin, she had already guessed his intentions. Moreover, betrayal and kidnapping meant either she and Xin Fan would die, or Su Shoujin would. No matter what you do, I support you, Lin Xingyan said. Good. Xin Fan responded. With Yang Li dead and Aunt Wang ready to reveal the Lin and Yang family secrets to Lin Xingyan, she would soon be exposed to the real world. Today would be just the beginning. You want to kill us? Eric adjusted his sunglasses, revealing a smile. It won't be that easy. Just so you know, those firearms are useless against me. Xin Fan declared. A man who can smash through reinforced concrete won't be affected by ordinary weapons. From the beginning, I never intended to use them, Eric said calmly. Falling from the sky and smashing through reinforced concrete unscathed, his physical strength was unimaginable. Such a body could only be harmed by special weapons like thermobaric bombs. What? Xin Fan's brows furrowed. We, the Black Crow, always have a plan. With your strength, force alone won't work, so we have another method, Eric said confidently. I see, that worthless Lin Shanpin is still in our hands. Xin Fan, if you and the little whore want him alive, you must comply. Su Shoujin suddenly remembered and smiled as she stepped out from behind Zhang Hongyi. You captured my father? He is your husband. Lin Xingyan's face changed dramatically. Husband? That's a joke. Su Shoujin laughed triumphantly. Don't you know, before marrying your father, I was always Zhang Hongyi's lover. Even after marriage, I still was. Lin Jiawei is Zhang Hongyi's son. Now, if you want your father to live, sign the agreement. You shameless wretch. Lin Xingyan gritted her teeth. Tell me, where is my father? She could disregard Su Shoujin's fate but not her father's. In this world, she had only two close relatives, her grandmother and her father. Xin Fan's frown deepened. He had planned to kill them all, but with Lin Xingyan's father captured, things became complicated. He's here. At that moment, Eric took out a tablet and started a video call. Xin Fan and Lin Xingyan saw Lin Shanpin tied to a chair, with a masked man holding a knife to his throat, ready to kill at any moment. Lin Shanpin's face showed terror. He had been sleeping when suddenly he was bound and taken to an unknown place. Seeing Lin Xingyan through the video, he cried out, Xingyan, save me! Save me! Dad! Lin Xingyan shouted, what do you want? What do I want? Sign the agreement, of course, Su Shoujin's voice echoed. Ajin, is that you? I hear your voice. What's going on? What agreement? Lin Shanpin, hearing Su Shoujin, asked urgently. Shut up, you worthless piece of crap. Su Shoujin, irritated, walked to the tablet and cursed. Ajin, what are you doing? What's happening? Lin Shanpin asked frantically. It's because you're useless. You couldn't get Xiuli's shares, so I had to act myself. Su Shoujin said with disdain. Giving Xiuli to Qingyan is good, she can make a lot of money. Lin Shanpin pleaded. Idiot. I married you for Xiuli, but you couldn't get it. Su Shoujin raged. What agreement do you want Qingyan to sign? Lin Shanpin, beaten down, asked. Transfer all Xiuli shares to Jiawei, Su Shoujin said with a smile. Ajin, why are you doing this? We are husband and wife, why betray me? Lin Shanpin realized Su Shoujin was behind his capture. Husband and wife? Only you think so. I never considered you my husband. My real husband is Zhang Hongyi. If it weren't for our family's debt, do you think I'd have married you? I never saw you as my husband, so how is it betrayal? Now, make that slut sign the agreement, or you're dead. Su Shoujin continued with venom. Chapter 231, Sudden Change. Ajin, how can you do this? We've been together for over 20 years. What did I ever do to deserve this? Lin Shanpin, now tearful, cried out in despair. He had abandoned Lin Xingyan's mother and devoted himself entirely to Su Shoujin, yet now her words pierced him deeply. Lin Shanpin, stop wasting your breath. Look at yourself. Do you think you're worthy of Ajin? Jiang Hongyi stepped up to the tablet, wrapping his arm around Su Xiuzhen's slender waist with a wicked grin. Ajin told me you couldn't even satisfy her in bed. What good are you? If it weren't for my comfort, who knows how many other men she would have sought. Hearing these words and seeing the scene, Lin Shanpin's face turned red with rage, his eyes fixed on Jiang Hongyi. Jiang Hongyi, how dare you sleep with my wife? Who is your wife? You're the third party here, you idiot. Can't you understand that? Su Xiuzhen continued to berate Lin Shanpin. By the way, let me tell you, Lin Jiawei is not your son. He is the son of Jiang Hongyi and me. You were stupid enough not to question it when I married you while already pregnant. So, it's Jiang Hongyi and I who are the real couple. Su Xiuzhen added with a sneer. Hearing Su Xiuzhen's words, Lin Shanpin felt as if the sky had fallen. He stood there, stunned. No, Jiawei is my son. Jiawei is my son, Lin Shanpin muttered frantically. What a waste of time talking to you, Su Xiuzhen said in disgust. Mr. Eric, this is getting tedious. Let your men do something, Jiang Hongyi said impatiently. Give him a taste of pain, Eric commanded. The man guarding Lin Shanpin immediately used a small knife to sever the tendons in Lin Shanpin's hand. Ah! Lin Shanpin screamed in agony, his face turning ashen. Stop! Don't hurt my father! Lin Qingyan screamed. Qin Fan watched, feeling conflicted. He didn't know where Lin Shanpin was held, otherwise he could have sent a part of his spirit to rescue him. You little whore, why are you yelling? If you want to save your father, sign the agreement. You should know that I have no sentimental ties to your father. I won't spare him just because of some so-called marital bond. I hesitated to go this far, but that old hag's favoritism left me no choice. Now, if you want that worthless Lin Shanpin to live, sign the agreement immediately. Su Xiuzhen snarled at Lin Qingyan. On the other end, Lin Shanpin, now in utter despair, kept wailing. His world had crumbled. Worthless idiot, shut up. If you want to live, make that slut sign the agreement. Su Xiuzhen barked, clearly irritated by his cries. She glanced at Eric, signaling him to continue tormenting Lin Shanpin. Sign it, Qingyan, sign it, Qin Fan urged Lin Qingyan. First, ensure Lin Shanpin's safety. As for the agreement, he could deal with it later. Using family as leverage, such people would not be spared by Qin Fan. I'll sign it. Just don't hurt my father anymore, Lin Qingyan sobbed. Good. Su Xiuzhen smiled triumphantly and threw the prepared agreement to Lin Qingyan. Sign it now. Lin Qingyan picked up the agreement from the ground. Don't sign it. Even if you do, they won't spare me. Suddenly, Lin Shanpin regained his senses and shouted. Silence him. Su Xiuzhen commanded, enraged. Eric signaled his subordinate. The guard stuffed a cloth into Lin Shanpin's mouth and placed the knife against his throat again, warning him to stop struggling or face more pain. In that moment, Lin Shanpin leaned into the blade and turned his neck sharply, slicing his carotid artery. Whoosh! Blood spurted instantly. Quick, stop the bleeding. Remove the cloth. Eric shouted. The guard tried to comply, but it was too late. Lin Shanpin, with dimming eyes, looked at Lin Qingyan and uttered his final words. I'm sorry. To you and your mother. With that, his eyes went blank, and he breathed his last. Lin Qingyan, seeing her father lifeless on the screen, stood frozen, her eyes vacant, tears streaming uncontrollably. The events had happened too quickly for anyone to react. He killed himself? He was always so cowardly, so afraid of death. How could he kill himself? Su Xiuzhen stood in shock, her voice trembling. In her mind, Lin Shanpin had always been a weak, cowardly man. How could such a coward commit suicide? Foolish. When pushed to the brink, even the weakest can act desperately. We need to leave now. Eric ordered urgently. Yes, we need to leave immediately. Jiang Hongyi, also recovering from the shock, hurried to escape. You, come here. Qin Fan's thunderous voice echoed. He reached out and grabbed the three of them. Qin Fan hadn't expected Lin Shanpin to sacrifice himself to protect Lin Qingyan and the Lin family. Watching Lin Shanpin's suicide, Qin Fan was consumed with fury. He recalled the moment his parents sent him away at 15, choosing death for themselves. As he reached out, an immense power swept the fleeing trio towards him. Are you seeking mutual destruction? Eric, now at Qin Fan's feet, surprisingly showed no fear, staring up at him. Mutual destruction? You think you're worthy? Qin Fan's gaze was icy. I told you, the Black Crow always has contingencies. My men have a thermobaric bomb aimed here. If I die, it will fire, killing you and your woman. If you don't want that, release me. Eric threatened. Hearing this, Su Shoujin and Jiang Hongyi's fear turned to hope, believing there was still a chance. But Qin Fan ignored them, grabbing Eric by the throat and lifting him. You can try if your bomb can kill me. Eric, seeing Qin Fan's cold demeanor, smirked and touched his sunglasses, ordering, fire. As his words fell, a missile flew towards their location. Qin Fan grabbed the dazed Lin Qingyan, drawing her close, as a vast power emanated from him, forming a radiant shield that blinded those within it. Boom! In an instant, a thunderous explosion erupted. Chapter 232, Unscathed. Boom! A thunderous explosion echoed through the heavens. In an instant, terrifying energy swept across the land, flattening everything within a kilometer's radius. A crimson mushroom cloud soared into the sky, resembling a small sun, illuminating the area and catching the attention of the nearby townsfolk. Crackle! The massive explosion ignited a raging fire, consuming everything in its path and causing the temperature to spike to 2,000 degrees. Amidst the inferno, Qin Fan held Eric firmly, remaining completely unharmed. Not only was he unscathed, but Lin Qingyan, Su Shoujin, Jiang Hongyi, and Eric, all shielded by a magical barrier, were also untouched. Qin Fan had no intention of protecting these people for their sake. Letting them die under the thermobaric bomb would have been too merciful. How is this possible? Eric stared at Qin Fan in terror. This is a 4th-generation thermobaric bomb, and you haven't suffered a scratch. Are you even human? The 4th-generation thermobaric bomb, with power second only to a nuclear weapon, can instantly raise the surrounding temperature to 2000 C. The explosive speed is astonishing, inflicting multiple damages on those at the epicenter. Under such a horrifying blast, even the peak grandmasters would perish without a doubt, and even those at the divine realm would be severely injured. Yet, Qin Fan not only survived but also kept those around him unscathed. This left Eric in utter despair. Such terrifying power could not be matched even by the top 10 Hell Kings of Hell. In an instant, Qin Fan no longer appeared human to him, but a monster, even a deity. But what happened next shocked Eric even more. Qin Fan waved his hand, and the lingering energy of the thermobaric bomb dissipated instantly. Qingyan, how do you wish to exact your revenge on these people? Qin Fan asked, lifting the barrier and addressing Lin Qingyan. Lin Qingyan, recovering from her stupor, looked at Qin Fan, her eyes filled with complex emotions. With her knowledge, she understood what a thermobaric bomb was. She had thought she was certain to die in that moment, but Qin Fan had saved her, completely unharmed. In that moment, she realized that everything Qin Fan had said before was true. I was just following orders. These two are the masterminds. Spare my life, and I can pay any price, 1 billion, even 10 billion, Eric pleaded with Qin Fan as Lin Qingyan gathered her thoughts. I didn't let you die under the thermobaric bomb because that would be too easy for you. From the moment you kidnapped Lin Qingyan, you were marked for death, Qin Fan said coldly. He then threw Eric to the ground, releasing his inner force. Instantly, the sound of breaking bones echoed from Eric's body. Eric screamed in agony as Qin Fan shattered every bone in his body. If Eric were not a practitioner, he would have died. Instead, he now had to endure the excruciating pain of a fate worse than death. Seeing Eric's torment, Jiang Hongyi and Su Shoujin turned pale and trembled. Spare me. Spare me, I was only following Su Shoujin's orders, Jiang Hongyi pleaded, falling to his knees before Qin Fan. He's lying. He's lying. Qingyan is my daughter. Although I'm her stepmother, she's still my daughter. I was bewitched by this man to do such a thing. Qin Fan, please spare me, Qingyan, spare me, Su Shoujin begged, hearing Jiang Hongyi's plea. No, it's this vile woman who masterminded everything. I was forced. Jiang Hongyi countered. He seduced me, it's not my fault, Su Shoujin retorted. Once professing eternal love, the two now hurled accusations at each other, their ugliness laid bare. Ha 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 ha. Suddenly, Lin Qingyan laughed, her laughter tinged with madness as tears streamed down her face. Dad, do you see this? The woman you spent 20 years with, the woman my mother resented, wasn't worth it. I feel sorry for you. Xin Fan watched Lin Xingyan in silence, allowing her to release her emotions. Soon, the sounds of chaos grew louder, cars honking, helicopter blades whirring. The explosion had not only mobilized the security bureau but also the military from Jiangnan. Quickly, Li Weidong arrived with security forces, and Bu Changjian led a military contingent, sealing off the area and establishing a restricted zone. Mr. Xin. Bu Changjian, the highest-ranking officer present, greeted Xin Fan respectfully, having been briefed by Li Weidong on the situation. Xin Fan glanced at Bu Changjian without speaking. Lin Xingyan, having stopped laughing, clung tightly to Xin Fan, her first encounter with such a spectacle filling her with fear. Mr. Xin, this is our failure in the military in Kunlun, allowing Black Crow to infiltrate our country and endanger your wife, Bu Changjian said, bowing respectfully. Xingyan's father. Xin Fan began, explaining the situation. Rest assured, we will find Mr. Lin immediately. Bu Changjian responded promptly following his orders. The military and security personnel swiftly took action. How do you wish to deal with these two? Xin Fan asked Lin Xingyan, referring to Zhang Honi and Su Xiuzhen, who were begging for mercy. I want them dead, Lin Xingyan replied. Very well, Xin Fan agreed. He had intended for Lin Xingyan to exact her own revenge, but knowing she had never killed before, he took action. Please, no, Xingyan, forgive me. I won't do it again, Su Xiuzhen begged frantically. Ignoring her pleas, Lin Xingyan closed her eyes. Xin Fan approached, delivering a palm strike to each, reducing them to blood mist, their existence erased. Lin Xingyan opened her eyes, looking at Xin Fan. I want to go home and see Grandma. Xin Fan hesitated, unsure if he should tell her that Yang Li had passed away. In the end, he informed her of Yang Li's death. No. Lin Xingyan broke down, crying helplessly, feeling abandoned by the world. Xin Fan sighed, holding her as she wept, unable to offer comfort but allowing her to cry to her heart's content. Chapter 233, To bear the crown, one must bear its weight. After crying herself to exhaustion, Lin Xingyan fell asleep in Xin Fan's embrace. Xin Fan gently lifted her and, after instructing Bu Changjian to handle the remaining matters, carried her away. Xiao Fan, what happened? And Wang asked as soon as Xin Fan brought Lin Xingyan back. Xin Fan explained the situation to Aunt Wang, who nearly lost her composure upon hearing it. That Su Xiuzhen is truly heartless, causing the master's death and shocking the young lady so much. Let her rest for a few days, Xin Fan suggested to Aunt Wang. Yes, Xiao Fan, stay with the young lady. If you leave, I'm afraid she might really break down, Aunt Wang urged. Xin Fan nodded and carried Lin Xingyan to her room, gently laying her on the bed and casting a calming spell over her. Rest well, he whispered, covering her with a blanket before sitting beside her in meditation. Losing two close relatives in one night would devastate anyone. The next morning, Lin Xingyan slowly opened her eyes and heard Xin Fan's voice, You're awake. Did you stay by my side all night? Lin Xingyan asked, sitting up and looking at Xin Fan. Yes, Xin Fan replied softly. Thank you, Lin Xingyan said quietly, and for everything else you did. It's all in the past now, Xin Fan said, gazing at her. Lin Xingyan lowered her head, her eyes red and her face pale and weary. It was the first time Xin Fan had seen her so fragile, like a delicate pear blossom glistening with dew, evoking a deep sense of pity. I'll have Aunt Wang bring you something to eat, you must be hungry, Xin Fan said. Lin Xingyan looked up at him again. Xin Fan, that. Let's talk after you eat, Xin Fan interrupted, knowing what you wanted to ask. I'll explain everything once you're done. Lin Xingyan nodded slightly. Soon, Aunt Wang brought food to Lin Xingyan's room, staying with Xin Fan by her side. I'm fine, you don't need to worry too much, Lin Xingyan forced a smile at them. Finish your meal first, then ask whatever you need to, Xin Fan encouraged. Lin Xingyan ate a little before putting down the bowl and looking at Xin Fan. Go ahead, ask me anything, Xin Fan said. Who are you really? Lin Xingyan took a deep breath and asked. I'm Xin Fan, he answered plainly. I mean your true identity, Lin Xingyan clarified. When we first met, you said you were an intern doctor and an orphan. I wasn't lying. When we met, I was indeed an intern doctor and an orphan. Later, I became Mr. Xin, then Master Qin, and some even call me real Master Qin, he explained. Lin Xingyan's confusion deepened. So, Tianqin Corporation is really yours? Yes, I own 80% of the shares. I created the Hongyan elixir and the Changqing elixir. Qin Fan elaborated. Let me process this, Lin Qingyan said, taking a deep breath. Qin Fan had accomplished in less than half a year what others might not achieve in several lifetimes. If not for last night's events, she would have found it hard to believe. After a moment, Lin Qingyan asked again, so, from the very beginning, Jiang family's investment to all of Shuli's business success, was it all because of you? In a way, yes. But your own abilities were crucial too. Without your talent, those opportunities wouldn't have amounted to much, Qin Fan responded. Then why did you sign that fake boyfriend contract with me? Given your status, that contract seems absurd, Lin Qingyan asked, filled with doubt. Actually, everything started after we signed that contract. Sometimes I wonder if all of this happened because of you, Qin Fan smiled. Since meeting Lin Qingyan, his life had become anything but ordinary. Am I really that extraordinary? Lin Qingyan smiled, her usual demeanor returning. Who knows? Qin Fan laughed. Miss, you and Xiaofan were pretending to be a couple? Aunt Wang interjected. Lin Qingyan looked at Aunt Wang apologetically. I'm sorry, Aunt Wang. It's fine, it's fine. Isn't a fake relationship turning real? You and Xiaofan are legally married now, you're a couple, Aunt Wang beamed. Lin Qingyan felt a bit awkward. She had once told Qin Fan that they would divorce after Yang Li passed away. Turning to Qin Fan, she said, my grandmother has passed, so I accepted the ring your grandmother gave me. It's likely a family heirloom, and I promised her I would protect you, so let's continue, Qin Fan said, showing the ring from Yang Li. The marriage certificate meant nothing to him, but it seemed important to Lin Qingyan. Did my grandmother give you this ring? Lin Qingyan asked, puzzled. I've never heard of a family heirloom. The ring was silver with the word Xianzhu engraved on it. Lin Qingyan had never seen it before. Miss, this ring is indeed a Lin family heirloom, and it is of great significance, Aunt Wang said. Great significance? Lin Qingyan looked at Aunt Wang, confused. Miss, after we handle the funerals for the old lady and the master, I will explain everything to you, Aunt Wang said solemnly. Lin Qingyan nodded. The most important thing now was her grandmother's and father's funerals. By the way, Aunt Wang, what about Lin Jiawei? Lin Qingyan hesitated. Lin Jiawei is a bastard, a spawn of that vile Su Xiuzhen. You must not show mercy to such people, they must be eradicated. Aunt Wang's face hardened with a fierce determination. Lin Qingyan was startled. She had never seen Aunt Wang like this. Aunt Wang had always been a kind and gentle elder who had cared for her daily needs for 10 years. Seeing Lin Qingyan's reaction, Aunt Wang remained resolute. Miss, the old lady left a message before she died. What? What did she say? Lin Qingyan, frightened by Aunt Wang's demeanor, asked. To bear the crown, one must bear its weight. Aunt Wang enunciated each word carefully. Chapter 234, the commission task. To bear the crown, one must bear its weight? Lin Qingyan was taken aback by the phrase, then looked puzzled and asked, Aunt Wang, isn't this a bit too much? Our Lin family is just a business family. Why would grandmother say something so heavy? Miss, after we settle everything, I will tell you and Xiaofan everything according to the old lady's last wishes. You will understand then, Aunt Wang said gravely. Moreover, after this experience, haven't you felt that the world is somewhat different from what you knew? Lin Qingyan was momentarily stunned, then glanced at Qin Fan. It seems there are some extraordinary things. Last night had shattered her previous understanding of the world. Qin Fan had descended from the sky, breaking through a concrete roof, and Eric had used a terrifying weapon like a thermobaric bomb. Yet Qin Fan had emerged unscathed. All these events had fundamentally changed her perception of the world. It seemed there were forces beyond money and power. Now she somewhat understood how Qin Fan had achieved what others couldn't in several lifetimes within half a year. Qin Fan possessed extraordinary powers beyond her comprehension. Despite her curiosity about these powers, Lin Qingyan only nodded slightly and didn't press further. Aunt Wang smiled and said, Miss, I'll go take care of things. You should rest these next few days. All right, Lin Qingyan replied. Xiaofan, stay with the young lady these days, Aunt Wang said to Qin Fan. I have no other plans, Qin Fan responded. Aunt Wang soon left to handle the affairs of Yang Li and Lin Shanping, leaving Qin Fan and Lin Qingyan alone. Lin Qingyan hesitated before speaking. Ask whatever you want, Qin Fan said, noticing her hesitation. I used to think you were just very skilled in martial arts, but it's not just that, is it? You have extraordinary powers, Lin Qingyan asked. Extraordinary powers? Qin Fan frowned slightly. You could say that. How did you get these extraordinary powers? Lin Qingyan asked, curious. Through cultivation, Qin Fan replied. Cultivation? Like in those TV shows, practicing martial arts, even becoming immortal? Lin Qingyan asked, incredulous. Yes, Qin Fan confirmed. Lin Qingyan fell silent, pondering. Then she asked, can I cultivate too? You can, Qin Fan responded. To become like you? Lin Qingyan's eyes lit up. Reaching my level, I can't promise. But you can definitely become powerful, at least as strong as Aunt Wang, Qin Fan said. Lin Qingyan's eyes widened. You mean Aunt Wang is also very powerful? Yes, among ordinary cultivators, she's quite formidable. Currently, she's at the Grandmaster level, Qin Fan explained. When he first met Aunt Wang, she was at the peak of the innate realm. After taking a pill Qin Fan gave her, she recently broke through to the Grandmaster realm. In the mortal world, a Grandmaster is an exceptional expert. As for Lin Qingyan, after the incident on the cruise ship, Qin Fan realized her bloodline was extraordinary, though it hadn't awakened yet. If it did, she could certainly cultivate, but how far she could go was uncertain. Lin Qingyan didn't understand the concept of cultivation realms yet, but if Qin Fan said Aunt Wang was strong, she believed him. Can you teach me? She asked. Don't be in such a hurry, Qin Fan replied. Oh, Lin Qingyan felt a bit disappointed. It's just temporary. Don't be so disheartened. Once everything is settled, Aunt Wang will tell you some things, and you can decide then, Qin Fan reassured her. Lin Qingyan nodded and didn't pursue the topic further. 3 days passed quickly, and Aunt Wang had completed the arrangements for Yang Li and Lin Shanping's funerals. The funerals were held in Jiangcheng, attended by wealthy merchants and government officials from across Jiangnan. Even General Xia Yangguang from the Jiangnan military attended, underscoring Qin Fan's high status. After the funerals, Aunt Wang collected the ashes of Yang Li and Lin Shanping, preparing to return them to the Lin family's ancestral home with Lin Qingyan and Qin Fan. Mr. Qin, General Xia wishes to meet you, Wu Changying informed Qin Fan before they left. No need. I can't be a military instructor, and I have other matters to attend to, Qin Fan declined. Mr. Qin, it won't take much time. We hope you can honor us with your presence, Wu Changying respectfully insisted. Standing beside Qin Fan, Lin Qingyan was shocked by Wu Changying's attitude and words. His high status in Jiangnan, and that of General Xia even more so, meant that their respectful plea to Qin Fan was astonishing. Qin Fan, why don't you meet him? Lin Qingyan suggested, seeing the impasse. All right, Qin Fan agreed after some thought. Wu Changying thanked Lin Qingyan and led Qin Fan to the military vehicle. Inside, Qin Fan met General Xia Yangguang. Mr. Qin, it's an honor, Xia Yangguang greeted politely. Get to the point. I'm not interested in being an instructor, Qin Fan stated directly. I won't waste your time. I wish to invite you to undertake a mission, Xia Yangguang said. A mission? What kind of mission? Don't you have anyone in the military? Qin Fan asked, surprised. It's an S-class mission, and we have no one suitable in Jiangnan. That's why we seek your help, Xia Yangguang explained. What's in it for me? Qin Fan inquired. We can offer maximum protection for those around you, ensuring that what happened to Miss Lin won't happen again, Xia Yangguang promised. Qin Fan frowned. This condition was appealing. While he was nearly invincible, he couldn't always protect those around him. The incident with Lin Qingyan happened because he had briefly left Jiangcheng. If the military offered full protection, it was a valuable offer. Qin Fan had never imagined he'd form such bonds after the fall of his clan in the Qingxian Star domain. Now, surrounded by people and ties, he couldn't ignore their safety. What's the mission? Qin Fan asked. Protect a person and an item, but not for long, about 7 to 10 days, Xia Yangguang explained. That time frame is doable. I accept, Qin Fan replied. When do we start? I'll contact you with the details soon, Xia Yangguang said, relieved that Qin Fan agreed. Without the Lin Qingyan incident, convincing him would have been much harder. Chapter 235, The Fate of Those Who Steal From Me is Death. After accepting Xia Yangguang's invitation, Qin Fan set off with Lin Qingyan and Aunt Wang to the Lin family's ancestral home in Jini Ancient Town. Jini Ancient Town, approximately a 3-hour drive from Jiangcheng, was the starting point of Lin Qingyan's grandparents, Lin Xiushan and Yang Li, before they moved to Jiangcheng. For the Lin family, this picturesque town was considered their true ancestral land, hence the family cemetery was located there. It was imperative to return Yang Li's ashes to the family tomb to be interred alongside Lin Xiushan. By 3 in the afternoon, Qin Fan accompanied Lin Qingyan to the Lin family cemetery. A fine drizzle fell from the sky, casting a grey pallor over the world and evoking a somber mood. Lin Qingyan cradled 2 urns, while Qin Fan held an umbrella over her, walking side by side. Aunt Wang followed behind, carrying her own umbrella. As they walked along the well-maintained mountain path towards the cemetery, they saw 2 figures standing silently in the distance. One was a middle-aged man with a square face and a small beard, clad in a simple grey tunic, standing next to a young man dressed in standard black funeral attire. Despite the rain, neither man's clothes were wet, an anomaly noticed by Qin Fan through his heightened senses. He decided to observe quietly as he was unsure of their origins. Aunt Wang, however, appeared worried upon seeing them. "Who are you?" Lin Qingyan asked curiously upon entering the cemetery. The 2 did not respond but looked at the tombstone of Lin Xiushan, Lin Qingyan's grandfather, before turning to her. "Are you my cousin, Lin Qingyan?" the young man asked with a faint smile after a brief glance. Lin Qingyan's face changed instantly. "Did you just say I'm your cousin? My name is Lin Yun." "Your grandfather and my grandfather were brothers, which makes you my cousin," Lin Yun replied, smiling. "That's impossible." "I've never heard of my grandfather having any siblings," Lin Qingyan retorted, growing wary. She looked to Aunt Wang, who shook her head, signaling not to trust him. "Who are you really? Why are you here at our ancestral land?" Lin Qingyan demanded after receiving Aunt Wang's response. "Ancestral land?" Lin Yun chuckled, an eerie laughter. "You call this the Lin family's ancestral land? Isn't it?" Lin Qingyan countered. "If you insist, but knowing too much could be dangerous for you," Lin Yun said with a cold smile. "What do you want? Why are you here?" Lin Qingyan asked again. "I've come to retrieve something," Lin Yun said, staring at her. "What is it?" Lin Qingyan asked, her suspicion growing. "A ring inscribed with the word Xian Master," Lin Yun replied. Lin Qingyan instinctively glanced at Qin Fan before saying, "That's a family heirloom left to me by my grandparents. How do you know about it, and why should I give it to you?" Lin Yun laughed scornfully. "Didn't Lin Xiushan, Yang Li, or that maid tell you the ring's origins? It's not something a mere mortal can possess. No matter its origin, it's a family heirloom from my grandparents. I won't give it to you," Lin Qingyan declared coldly. Lin Yun laughed derisively. "Wang Lu, do you think your mistress's words are wise? Or does she seek death?" Hearing Aunt Wang's name spoken so familiarly, Lin Qingyan realized she had been hiding something and knew the identity of these intruders. "I am merely a servant of the Lin family, bound to follow the orders of the old master and mistress. Now that they are gone, I obey my mistress," Aunt Wang replied steadfastly. "Such a loyal dog." Lin Yun sneered as the middle-aged man beside him lunged towards Aunt Wang. Aunt Wang reacted swiftly, discarding her umbrella and leaping back like a swift swallow, retreating over 10 meters in seconds. "Run, miss! Little Fan, take miss and leave!" Aunt Wang shouted. "Lin Yun, call off your man!" Lin Qingyan, viewing Aunt Wang as family, yelled at Lin Yun, who merely watched with a cold smile. The middle-aged man caught up with Aunt Wang, who spun in midair and lashed out with a kick, only to have it blocked by a powerful palm strike. With a loud crash, Aunt Wang cried out in pain, landing and retreating several steps, her right leg throbbing with agony. "Wang Lu, you've just entered the Grandmaster realm, while I have perfected it. Do you think you can defeat me?" the man taunted, stepping forward to capture her. "Run, miss! Little Fan, take her away now!" Aunt Wang called out desperately. Lin Qingyan, unwilling to leave, anxiously asked Qin Fan, "Why aren't you helping Aunt Wang?" "The ring from your grandmother seems important to them. I can save Aunt Wang and take you away, but they will come after us later," Qin Fan replied calmly. Lin Qingyan hesitated before declaring resolutely, "This heirloom from my grandparents is too precious to give up." "All right," Qin Fan agreed, turning to Lin Yun. Producing the Xian Master ring, he said, "Is this the ring you seek?" Lin Yun's face turned cold. Hand it over, and you may live. Yang Li entrusted this ring to me. It belongs to me now. Are you sure you want to take it? Xin Fan asked with a mocking smile. Nonsense. Lin Yun's expression darkened. You have no idea what this ring signifies. I don't know its significance, but I can tell you one thing. The fate of those who try to steal from me is death, Xin Fan replied with a grim smile. With a surge of aura, Lin Yun launched himself at Xin Fan, his fist wrapped in purple energy, blazing like violet flames. Then die. Lin Yun roared, his punch creating a terrifying shockwave. Xin Fan. Lin Xingyan screamed, sensing the dreadful power for the first time. Little Fan. Aunt Wang cried out in panic. Xin Fan, however, casually extended his right hand, grasping Lin Yun by the throat. In an instant, Lin Yun's aura dissipated, and he was lifted like a helpless chick. The fate of those who steal from me is death, Xin Fan repeated, snapping Lin Yun's neck with a swift motion. Chapter 236, The Trade? In his final moments, Lin Yun's eyes were wide with disbelief, unable to fathom his own death at Xin Fan's hands. Similarly, Lin Xingyan stood with her mouth agape, staring in shock at Lin Yun's twisted body. The middle-aged man and Aunt Wan were equally dumbfounded, their gazes fixed on Xin Fan. You scoundrel! Do you even know who he was? The middle-aged man, coming to his senses, erupted with fury. His aura surged to its peak as he charged at Xin Fan, enveloped in a violet flame that incinerated everything it touched. Xin Fan nonchalantly discarded Lin Yun's body and met the man's charge with a simple motion. With a thunderous sound, the man's attack was effortlessly neutralized, his body sent spinning through the air before crashing to the ground. Dazed, the middle-aged man stared up at Xin Fan in terror. Who are you? How can you be this powerful? Ignoring the question, Xin Fan approached him. I will ask the questions. You will answer. Though he had surmised that these individuals were likely from the so-called Shenmen, he needed specifics. Seeing the man's reluctance, Xin Fan declared, since you won't talk, I'll do it my way. As Xin Fan prepared to act, he noticed a figure approaching, a striking woman dressed in a black blazer, a form-fitting skirt, and high heels, flanked by 2 bodyguards. She moved with the same supernatural ease. Lin Yun, Lin Zhong, your unauthorized actions to seize the Shen Lord's ring have reached the elders. You are to return to Shenmen to face your punishment. The woman's voice was cold as she landed. Shangguan Feishua, we were here on orders from the Lin family patriarch to honor our ancestors. You speak lies. Lin Zhong's face turned pale. He pointed to Xin Fan. This man holds the Shen Lord's ring. Not only did he refuse to hand it over, but he also killed Lin Yun. You should apprehend him and retrieve the ring for Shenmen. Shangguan Feishue glanced at Lin Yun's body before turning to Xin Fan with a slight smile. Xin Fan, Xin Zhenren, isn't it? You know me? Xin Fan replied. Of course, considering the Tian ranking is managed by our Shangguan family, she answered with a smile. What? He's the one who forced the Tian ranking to update a decade early? Lin Zhong gasped. Shangguan Feishue looked at Lin Zhong with disdain. Didn't your family do any research? Lin Zhong's face contorted with realization, they had been outmaneuvered. The news of Yang Li's passing had prompted a rushed decision to send the nearest members. Without considering Xin Fan's presence, turning back to Xin Fan, Shangguan Feishue offered, Xin Zhenren, now that you know who we are, wouldn't you consider returning the ring to Shenmen? You're suggesting a trade? Xin Fan inquired. Yes, a trade, she said, arms crossed, her smile confident. I propose you return the ring in exchange for our assistance in reaching the divine realm. The Shen Lord's ring isn't something an outsider can wield without consequences. This trade benefits you immensely. Xin Fan chuckled. And how do you know I'm not already in the divine realm? Simple. The Tian ranking wouldn't have included you otherwise, she explained. So the ranking updates itself? Xin Fan asked. Yes, it's an artifact that autonomously updates. We merely oversee it. Anyone on the Tian ranking cannot be in the divine realm, she elaborated. Then that artifact is flawed, Xin Fan remarked, releasing a fraction of his true aura in an instant. Shangguan Feishue felt an overwhelming pressure, the sky seemed to darken, and she began to sweat profusely. Xin Fan withdrew his aura. Given your respectfulness, you have 2 choices, leave within 10 seconds, or die. Choose wisely. Retreat. Shangguan Feishue ordered without hesitation, and they vanished swiftly. Lin Zhong attempted to flee, but Qin Fan captured him mid-air, performing a soul-searching technique. "You know very little," he muttered, then killed Lin Zhong and incinerated both bodies. Turning to Lin Xingyan, he said calmly, "It's over. Let's lay your grandparents to rest." Chapter 237, The Origin of the Lin Family. Lin Xingyan glanced at Qin Fan with a complex expression, said nothing, and silently placed her father and grandmother's ashes into the tomb. After finishing everything, Lin Xingyan turned to Aunt Wang and stared at her intensely. "Aunt Wang, isn't it time you told me everything? The Xian sect, the Xian master's ring, and the origins of the Lin family." She had been by Qin Fan's side just now, hearing everything but understanding very little. However, one thing she did grasp was the significance of the ring. As Aunt Wang had said, it was of great importance. Moreover, this ring was related to the Lin family, and she was a member of that lineage. Aunt Wang took a deep breath and said, "Miss, do not blame your father and grandmother. They kept this from you to protect you. If you knew too much too early, it would only bring harm. And now?" "I don't feel any different than before," Lin Xingyan questioned. "Miss, please be patient. Let's return home first, and I will explain everything to you," Aunt Wang replied. Lin Xingyan nodded, and the three of them tidied up and left the cemetery, returning to the old Lin family residence in Jini ancient town. Back at the old house, Aunt Wang brewed a pot of tea and prepared some dinner, setting it on the table. Qin Fan and Lin Xingyan waited on the sofa, ready to hear Aunt Wang's revelations. Aunt Wang, looking at them, seemed uncertain where to begin, so she asked, "Qin Fan, what have you learned? I know that this ring signifies the master of the Xian sect. I don't understand why it is with your family," Qin Fan said, showing the Xian master's ring. This was information he had obtained through soul-searching. Such identity tokens are common in the sects of the cultivation world. For instance, the token of the Dao sect, which the Tianqin family is affiliated with, is a spirit sword named Dao Sword. If one cannot gain the Dao Sword's recognition, they cannot become the sect leader. Thus, these tokens are extremely important to any force. The Xian sect is an X-level organization. This ring is crucial, yet it is in the Lin family's possession. I find this perplexing, Qin Fan added. From Lin Zhong, Qin Fan learned that the Xian sect is an X-level organization. Currently, he knows that there are 3 X-level organizations in the Western world and 2 in the Xia Kingdom, with the Xian sect being one of them. X-level organization? What is an X-level organization? Lin Xingyan asked, puzzled. An X-level organization is one whose power cannot be assessed. There are only 5 such organizations in the world, 3 in the West and 2 in the Xia Kingdom. The Xian sect is one of them. The organization that kidnapped you, Black Crow, is an A-level organization. Compared to an X-level organization, the weakest X-level organization is at least 1,000 times stronger than an A-level one, Aunt Wang explained. Lin Xingyan's eyes widened in astonishment. The Xian sect was 1,000 times stronger than Black Crow, even at its weakest. Such a powerful organization, and the leader's token is in my grandparents' possession. Were they part of the Xian sect? Lin Xingyan asked. Yes, your grandparents were members of the Xian sect. But in their youth, they chose to leave. Aunt Wang began to recount the history of Lin Xingyan's grandparents. Qin Fan and Lin Xingyan listened, beginning to understand the story. Aunt Wang didn't know how the Xian sect was established, but she explained that it was founded on 3 divine artifacts, jointly managed by the Lin, Sun, Yang, and Shangwan clans. The Lin clan produced many outstanding figures who led the Xian sect through various eras, strengthening it immensely. Consequently, the Lin clan naturally became the main branch, with successive Xian masters emerging from it. Therefore, the Xian master's ring was always in the Lin clan's possession. However, an unexpected turn occurred with Lin Xingyan's grandfather, Lin Xiaoshan. He was unable to cultivate, a prerequisite for becoming the Xian master, who must reach the divine realm. Lin Xiaoshan lacked any talent for cultivation, unable even to become a martial arts grandmaster. Consequently, Lin Xingyan's great-grandfather had to find another candidate but found no suitable one within the main lineage. Ultimately, he discovered a talented young man named Feng Yi in a collateral branch, who was then adopted and renamed Lin Yi. Despite his remarkable talent, Lin Yi's Lin bloodline was too thin for him to qualify as the Xian master. The Lin clan didn't want to cede the Xian master position to other clans, and the elders of the Xian sect didn't want to alter the sect's structure. Thus, they reached a compromise. Lin Yi would co-lead the sect with the second clan, the Shangwan clan, while waiting for a genius to emerge from the Lin lineage to reclaim sole leadership. Lin Xiaoshan and Yang Li, aware of the dangers they faced within the sect, chose to leave and live a mundane life. The Xian Master's ring, which could only be held by the true Xian Master, was given to Lin Xiushan for safekeeping, as neither the Shangguan clan nor Lin Yi were the true Xian Master. This decision maintained the Lin clan's status within the sect, though in practice, it was controlled by the Shangguan clan and Lin Yi. When Lin Shanping was born, the Lin clan elders immediately checked his talent, but it was even worse than his father Lin Xiushan's. This was a severe blow to the Lin clan, diminishing their status and silencing calls for them to reclaim leadership. Miss, when your grandfather learned of your existence, he had high hopes for you and brought you back, hoping the Lin clan elders would teach you to cultivate. However, neither Lin Yi nor the Shangguan clan allowed it. Your grandparents realized returning to the Xian sect was impossible and chose a quiet life, and Wang explained. Lin Qingyan was stunned by this revelation, astonished by her extraordinary lineage. Originally, your grandmother didn't plan to tell you any of this, intending for you to live a peaceful, ordinary life, and Wang continued. Then why did she change her mind? Lin Qingyan asked. Because she unexpectedly met Qin Fan, and Wang said, glancing at Qin Fan. Chapter 238, Ascending to Immortality? Lin Qingyan was not surprised by Aunt Wang's answer, as she had already anticipated it. She was more curious about why her grandmother held Qin Fan in such high regard. Aunt Wang, why did my grandmother value Qin Fan so highly? Because the old lady saw that Qin Fan was very special, quite extraordinary. That's why she insisted on various conditions, leading to your marriage with him. She felt at ease once you married Qin Fan, Aunt Wang explained. Lin Qingyan sighed and looked at Qin Fan. You people treat me like a fool, hiding everything from me. Miss, the old lady did this for your own good. If not for meeting Qin Fan, she would have taken all the secrets to her grave to keep you safe, Aunt Wang said hurriedly. I think you're deceiving yourselves. The Lin blood runs through Qingyan's veins. Keeping everything from her serves no purpose. Today, two groups came, clearly showing that Lin Yi and the Shangguan clan will not spare her, Qin Fan interjected. Aunt Wan looked worried. You're right, but we had no other choice. The less Miss knows, the more likely the Xian sect would spare her. However, with Lin Yi and the Shangguan clan arriving, it indicates trouble within the Xian sect. The elders of the Lin clan might have lost control. So, Qin Fan, you should keep the Xian master's ring. It can at least ensure Mrs. safety, Aunt Wan suggested. Qin Fan's strength was beyond comprehension. With the ring in his possession, the Xian sect couldn't easily take it. If Lin Qingyan were captured, she wouldn't be killed immediately, as they would use her to exchange for the ring. Qin Fan was at a loss for words. He hadn't realized the ring had such a function, he only sought the fragment of the great Tao of spirit within it. Indeed, nothing in this world is free, Qin Fan sighed inwardly. Then he said, Aunt Wang, you should tell us more about this ring. It's not just a symbol, or these people wouldn't be so concerned about it. Qin Fan knew the ring was extraordinary, but the fragment of the great Tao of spirit was undiscovered by others. Clearly, the ring had other uses, likely related to the fragment inside. Nothing escapes you, Aunt Wang smiled. As I mentioned, the Xian sect was founded on 3 divine artifacts. The Shangguan clan holds the artifact called the Xian Tian record, while the second artifact, the Xian Luo heavenly mirror, is with Lin Yi. After a pause and a sip of tea, Aunt Wang continued, the third and most crucial artifact, known only to successive Xian masters, is related to the Xian master's ring. What is it? Lin Qingyan asked curiously. I was just a lowly maid in the Xian sect and knew very little. I only heard from your great-grandfather that this artifact can enable one to ascend to immortality, Aunt Wang revealed. Ascend to immortality? Lin Qingyan exclaimed, incredulous. Aunt Wang, that's too far-fetched. It's just a legend. Qin Fan suppressed a laugh, thinking how he was on the path to immortality himself. However, Aunt Wang's words confirmed his suspicion that the artifact related to the ring might be another crucial fragment of the great Tao of spirit, which he was determined to obtain. What's that look on your face? Lin Qingyan noticed Qin Fan's expression. You don't believe in ascending to immortality, do you? Of course, I do. Cultivators like us seek to ascend, achieve immortality, and live as long as the heavens and earth. Qin Fan smiled. All right, great immortal Qin, how about you take me along to immortality? Lin Qingyan teased. Aunt Wang chuckled. Miss, that might actually be possible. Aunt Wang, is there really a way to ascend to immortality within the Xian sect? Lin Qingyan asked, even more curious. How could I know? I only learned martial arts to protect the master, who couldn't cultivate. But seeing Qin Fan speak so earnestly, I believe it could be true, and Wang replied. Lin Qinyan turned to Qin Fan, is it really possible to ascend to immortality? Qinyan, the world is vast, and many things might exceed your understanding. Just look at all that's happened since we met, things beyond your comprehension, Qin Fan said. You're right, Lin Qinyan agreed, choosing to believe him. Then, great immortal Qin, will you teach me to cultivate? Do you truly want to cultivate? Qin Fan asked, looking at her. In just half a year, I've experienced so much. Learning about my background today made me realize Lin Yi and the Shangwan clan won't spare me. Instead of relying on your protection, wouldn't it be better if I grew stronger myself? Lin Qinyan explained her thoughts. That's the spirit of the young miss, I know, Aunt Wang smiled. So, will you teach me to cultivate, or at least practice martial arts? Lin Qinyan asked Qin Fan. Since you wish to, I will teach you to cultivate, Qin Fan agreed, smiling. Lin Qinyan had an unawakened bloodline, indicating she had the potential for cultivation. One method to awaken it was through cultivation itself. Therefore, Qin Fan decided to teach her. Moreover, once she could protect herself, it would relieve him of constant vigilance. Seeing the rapport between Lin Qinyan and Qin Fan, Aunt Wang couldn't help but smile. I hope you two remain like this forever. Lin Qinyan blushed and remained silent. I'm just worried that the Xian sect will come again, Aunt Wang sighed. Aunt Wang, you can rest assured. I don't think the Xian sect will come back soon, Qin Fan said. Why? Aunt Wang and Lin Qinyan were puzzled. It's simple. You must have noticed that both Shangguan Feishui and Lin Yun came hurriedly, unprepared. This suggests internal chaos within the Xian sect. If they don't resolve their internal issues, neither Lin Yi nor the Shangguan clan will act rashly. Additionally, I deliberately let Shangguan Feishui go, so she could report my strength back to the Xian sect. This will make them think twice before acting, Qin Fan explained. The two women were astonished, impressed by Qin Fan's foresight and thoroughness. His intelligence seemed beyond what a young man in his 20s should possess. Alright, Xingyan, let's begin your cultivation, Qin Fan said. Chapter 239, a bit tempted to try. So soon? Lin Qinyan was taken aback by Qin Fan's words and asked in surprise. Training should start as early as possible, Qin Fan replied. Unlike Xiang Shui, whose body was weakened by the persistent erosion of Taiyin poison, preventing her from starting immortal cultivation, Lin Qinyan was in peak physical condition and had an unawakened bloodline, making her an ideal candidate to begin immortal cultivation immediately. Alright, Lin Qinyan stood up promptly. If you're going to train, the master and mistress have left behind cultivation techniques. I'll get them for you, Aunt Wang offered. No need, I have my own, Qin Fan dismissed the offer. He had little regard for the Xian sect's techniques, considering them martial arts rather than true immortal cultivation methods. Qin Fan possessed numerous advanced techniques and could find one suitable for Lin Qinyan. Let's go to your room, Qin Fan instructed Lin Qinyan. Once in her room, Lin Qinyan followed Qin Fan's guidance and sat cross-legged on the bed. This really looks like immortal cultivation. Are you really going to teach me to cultivate? Lin Qinyan asked, half-jokingly. Of course. I'll first teach you the breathing techniques and guide you to find your qi sense, Qin Fan said. He began teaching her the Longevity Dao Sutra, which involved absorbing the energy of heaven and earth to strengthen one's foundation, perfect for someone like Lin Qinyan with an unawakened bloodline. Are we really doing immortal cultivation? Lin Qinyan was astonished after memorizing the mantra. Don't keep your eyes wide open. Close them, and I'll guide you, Qin Fan instructed. All right. Lin Qinyan closed her eyes and followed Qin Fan's lead, circulating the Longevity Dao Sutra. After several circulations, Lin Qinyan opened her eyes, feeling unsure. I don't feel anything. That's normal. You haven't found your qi sense yet, Qin Fan reassured her. What's a qi sense? What does it feel like? Lin Qinyan asked, curious. It's hard to describe. When you find it, you'll just know, Qin Fan explained. Just follow the method you showed me, and I'll find it? Lin Qinyan was still puzzled. Yes, it's just a matter of time, Qin Fan affirmed. How long will it take? Lin Qinyan inquired. It varies. Some people find it in a day, for others, it could take a lifetime, Qin Fan replied. A lifetime? Lin Qinyan was shocked. Yes, some never find their chi sense and can't cultivate, while others find it quickly and step into the world of immortal cultivation, Jiang Fan elaborated. How long did it take you? Lin Qingyan asked. I was born with a chi sense, so I didn't need to find it, Jiang Fan admitted. Lin Qingyan was speechless. Being born with a chi sense is extremely rare. Your situation is much more common, Jiang Fan added, thinking she was discouraged. Lin Qingyan found his attempt at reassurance amusing and frustrating. If you can't speak properly, it's better to say less. Jiang Fan's honesty was well-intentioned but unhelpful. His innate talent was a rare gift, likened to a celestial being, automatically absorbing spiritual energy from birth. This talent was why his clan entrusted him with the Chaos Pearl and ensured his escape, seeing him as their only hope. Just keep practicing. If you encounter any problems, come to me, Jiang Fan advised. Okay, Lin Qingyan nodded and continued her practice as instructed. Meanwhile, Jiang Fan went to rest in the room Aunt Wang had prepared for him. The next day, Jiang Fan expected to return to Jiang City, but Lin Qingyan wanted to stay a few more days to relax. Considering her recent revelations about her heritage and the immense pressure of dealing with top forces, Jiang Fan agreed that she needed time to adjust. Aunt Wang, however, had to return to Jiang City to handle some final matters, so she drove back in Lin Qingyan's car. While Lin Qingyan and Jiang Fan planned to take the train later after 3 days, Lin Qingyan felt more at ease, and they boarded the train back to Jiang City. Jiang Fan, what exactly is this chi sense like? Lin Qingyan asked as they sat together. Despite diligently practicing, she hadn't found her chi sense yet. The looming threat of the Xian sect kept her motivated. It's really indescribable. When you find it, you'll just know. Don't rush it, take your time, Jiang Fan reassured her. Oh. Lin Qingyan nodded, pondering how to find her chi sense. Jiang Fan took out his phone and began checking the news. I didn't know you followed the news, Lin Qingyan remarked, surprised to see him reading social news. Yes, Jiang Fan replied. He followed the news to stay informed about worldly matters, helping him blend into the mundane world more seamlessly. Curious, Lin Qingyan peeked at his screen. The North American sanctions on high-tech fields again, it's so annoying. Annoying? Should I just wipe out that annoying country? Jiang Fan suggested half-jokingly. Lin Qingyan was taken aback, then laughed. Don't joke about that. North America is the world's top power with all kinds of high-tech weaponry. You might be strong, but do you really think you can fight steel battleships? Jiang Fan shrugged. He'd never fought a steel battleship before and was a bit tempted to try. However, he decided not to meddle in international affairs.